in Florida and 10th in the world. Students learn practical and applied skills from top faculty and experts who work in the industry. With a 94% placement rate for all grads, the full-time MBA program sets students up for success in the world of sports. Check out Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program today by going to business.fau.edu.
It's the NBA playoffs, and Hurricane Grill and Wings has slam dunk specials like Miller Lite drafts for just $3.75. With 30 bold wing flavors, handcrafted cocktails, and big screens everywhere to watch all the action. Find your spot at hurricanewings.com.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
Now, it's time for a little R&R.
All into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy! Light him up, Colin!
Live from the Boynton Beach Arts and Cultural Center right here in Boynton Beach, Florida. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3 with Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat back at the City Play Studios in downtown West Palm Beach, helping us out and keeping us up over the air next 2 hours. Live leading up to Draft Day. We are live from Travis Hunter's watch party, draft party that is going to be commencing here in just a few short hours. Travis Hunter, favored at the number 2 overall slot to the Cleveland Browns. He will not be on the board for very long. We got chairs in front of us. We got food in front of us. We got a big projector screen that's going to be set up. This is going to be quite a night down in Boynton Beach to honor Travis Hunter, who was born and bred in this area and somebody who really represents the embodiment of South Florida and going to be taking the next step in his NFL career. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo with you, ESPN 106.3, also streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X at ESPN West Palm. You got Theo Dorsey of Theoretically Speaking, who's going to be doing some specialty programming from 6 to 7 p.m. on the program as well. We got a lot to do. Next 2 hours, it is NFL Draft Day. The first round of the NFL Draft commences tonight. You got a couple games tonight on the NBA side of things. And basically, if it's the last day leading up to the NFL Draft, everybody's in the same spot. Everybody's in Green Bay, or at least all the media and stuff like that. So everybody's talking. Everybody's hearing what's going on here, what's going on there, what's going on there. And now we're at a point where basically the rumors are running wild.
Correct. Yeah, and it's that time of the draft process where rumors are probably going to turn into fruition here. Guys are going to get caught with their pants down that have been reporting some things. So I'm finally looking forward to getting this draft underway. I'm really excited, Colin, as a Brown fan. I think if you're a Miami Dolphin fan in the area too, I think there's a lot of interesting storylines there. You want a ridiculous storyline. The ridiculous one I'm hearing is Shedeur to the Dolphins. So that's at plus 3,000 on Hard Rock Bet, by the way. Plus 3,000 for Shedeur to the Dolphins.
Yeah, I'd be surprised with that.
I'm going to sprinkle $10 on it, and maybe I'm a lucky winner. But that's the storylines going into this, Kyle. It's probably where does Sanders end up, and where how else does the first round shake out outside of Cam Ward
and what's going to happen with Gentry too? I think Gentry's a big question mark. What the Bears are going to do.
Cam Ward, I think, and Travis Hunter are the two that you kind of know are probably going 1 and 2. After that, it's really open. So, and I still think Cleveland's probably taking calls for 2. I think they're pretty content with taking Hunter, but I think they're taking calls, Colin. And I think Tennessee thinks they got their franchise quarterback in Cam Ward.
Yeah, if you're going to take a look at who's going to be the Atlanta Falcons of last year, who's going to be that surprise team that is going to be suited for a quarterback that is going to take them, whether as a backup or as a future starter or whatever it may be, Miami Dolphins does come to mind. That is an option.
It is.
That is an option. Arizona Cardinals, another surprise option. Guys who don't necessarily have that backup set, but you don't really know how sold they are on their starter. Maybe they're just trying to get another guy in the room and see how he fits. The whole thing. There's a couple of teams that really come to mind there. The San Francisco 49ers. It seems like they're going to try to figure out with Purdy, But do they select some insurance at some point this weekend? Is that on the utmost of priorities for them?
Right.
There's going to be an Atlanta Falcons somewhere. Who is that going to be? Now the class of player is not nearly as good in terms of the quarterbacks from last year comparatively to this year. But I think that the idea that there might be some sort of sleeper surprise team, I don't think that's as far-fetched as people are led to believe, especially if the Saints don't get him. Because if the Saints don't get him, then it's open season.
It is.
It's open season.
It is. And he might even fall more towards 30, 25.
I'm shocked by this. I'm shocked by
I am
this.
too. For weeks, we thought Shedeur Sanders, Cam Ward, 1, 2, top 5. And then within the last week, he is freefall. Now, maybe the GMs and whatnot were keeping it close to the chest. Maybe the grade on it wasn't a grade on Shedeur wasn't as high as people were speculating. I still find that hard to believe. Kyle, why do I think he goes in the top 10? Damn near top 5. I'm still kind of there.
My thinking is Dart hasn't blown up anybody's expectations on that front. So it's just going to be Cam Ward, and that's it? The whole first round? Really?
Yep.
That's going to be the type of first round we have in this league with this amount of priority set on that position? There's only going to be one guy, in the first 20 picks, 15 picks? We're not going to see anybody else there. All the teams that are picking the top 15 are bad. They all got it figured out under center? Is it that bad that they're willing to defer another year when jobs and coaches are on the line?
The Jets is the interesting one. You know, the Jets have a new regime, and from all intents and purposes, it sounds like they're not taking them.
Yeah.
It sounds like that they're completely content with taking one of the best players available at 7, maybe possibly trading down,
I have a hard
and
time
rolling the
seeing-
season into Justin Fields.
After hearing the Aaron Glenn, Aaron Rodgers saga story of
They don't
no
want
nonsense,
Sanders. They don't want Sanders.
They're not signing.
They
up.
don't
They're
want
not
Sanders.
signing up for the
No.
Shedeur Sanders
But
party.
I'll tell you what, for the teams that do pass up on Sanders, if he does turn into something, you got to live with that. You're going to have to live with it, similar to how the Carolina Panthers had to live with passing up on C.J. Stroud. We're a long way away from Bryce Young and Stroud being done, but you get the point. Stroud has been the one that's been in the playoffs 2 years in a row, not Bryce Young. So those are things you have to live with if you pass up franchise quarterbacks, and they end up being pretty good.
Now, Stroud wasn't great last year, so keep that in mind.
He wasn't.
He was not very good, but he was great that first year.
But the point remains that 2 years in the season, 2 years in the league, 2 years in the playoffs. So.
Right, the team was a little better suited, and that was in terms of a quick turnaround. That was the poster situation of what you could do. Now, weirdly enough, I think I'd argue, despite the ups and downs, I think Bryce Young showed a little bit more promise towards the end of the season than Stroud did. And I know he had his ups and downs in the benching and the whole thing. But that has been a very weird 1-2 dynamic that they have had comparatively. Now, nobody's talking about number 1 overall. Number 2 overall seems to be Travis Hunter. I think the real question surrounding the Browns is what they do in the rest of the first round if anything happens there. And I think the same thing applies for the Giants. I don't know if there is a team that is willing to give up such a premium to move up to 3rd overall, because what are you going to move up for? Unless you're that sold on Abdul Carter and you don't think that anybody else in the edge rusher, defensive lineman department can take you over the top and really provide the same amount of value, if you're sitting there and you want to get Abdul Carter that bad and give up 2 first-round picks, another second, and then your current first-round pick to move up to number 3 overall, then they'd be my guest. But I can't see a team doing that. I think the first trade we'll see in the first round, weirdly enough, I think that will be Jacksonville.
Yeah,
and I have no insight. I'm a Jacksonville Jaguar fan. From what I've heard, I haven't heard anything of substance. Everybody's speculating at this point. Jacksonville's very good at keeping it close to the chest, and I love that. I think that's going to be the first trade out.
Yeah, and
if I had to guess, that would be my guess.
It cracks me up that the Bears would trade so much for a running back. Like, the rumor is that the Bears are, 36-10 to move up to get a running back and possibly a future pick, have it be a second-round, third-rounder for years to come. But, I guess he's that good of a running. Like, him and Bijan Robinson, I feel like, are very similar in the sense that.
Here's what they're trying to do. Ben Johnson is trying to find his Jahmyr Gibbs.
My God, you're going to go to 5 for that?
Jahmyr Gibbs was 11 overall. And if he's going to be picked, he wants his Jahmyr Gibbs. That doesn't surprise me. That does not surprise me. He has his David Montgomery. Now he needs to get his Jahmyr Gibbs. He did it with the Lions. He wants to do it with the Bears. Now, for me, I'm happy with that. I would rather the Bears trade up, give up a couple of picks, and let Jacksonville move down to 10, still get a good player, the whole thing. I know the consensus is that top 12 is a lot better than the rest of the first round. But for me, I think that's going to be the first trade. I think Jacksonville is going to play it smart at the end of the day. I don't think that they're going to get that best offensive player available. That's why I have a hard time seeing that. I do. And but if it's the Bears, if it's the Denver Broncos, if it's the New Orleans Saints, whoever wants to move up a couple of picks to make something happen, I am under the impression that Jacksonville is going to be the team that is going to trade down. And I think that's better off for them because they need multiple players, not just one. And if you're the Bears, if you're the Ben Johnsons of the world, I think that looking towards the running back position in your first pick that you've ever made as the head coach of the Chicago Bears, I think would be the wrong move. It's a little Detroit-esque. I know Detroit just gets they got the Jack Campbells and then the Jahmyr Gibbs of the world. They kind of make their picks based on the flash. But for me, I don't know if that's the right move if I'm the Chicago Bears. If I'm the Chicago Bears, I would go offensive lineman. What has been your Achilles heel for the better part of 10, 12 years? It has not been the running back position. It has been the quarterback position and the offensive line. That has been the Achilles heel of what the Bears have had to deal with. Bad coaching, but they have not been able to figure out that. So you're under the impression you figured out one in Caleb Williams. Now you got to figure out the next, and that would be the offensive line. I know they got 3 interior. Get another one. It's not worth 2 first-round picks, a second-round pick, and a third-round pick to move up 5 spots. But if I'm Jacksonville, take it. I will say please and thank you. But I think that would be our first surprise of the first round would be the Chicago Bears moving in with Jacksonville. I think that will actually be the team. I think people are worried about what the Raiders are going to do, and I think that will deter some teams. So off of that, I would say that the Chicago Bears will be that first team. That will be my big prediction. Do you have one?
It's probably Shedeur, and I think he's going in the top 5 still, top 10. I'm not buying that he's going to be dropping 20. I think a team is going to be desperate for a quarterback. I think it's probably New Orleans. I think there might be some smoke with the Pittsburgh stuff. I think Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, granted, they tried doing this with Kenny Pickett. And granted, that was the 20th pick. But I think that they need a quarterback. Are they going to rely on Aaron Rodgers? Are they going to bank on Aaron Rodgers being able to be available?
Yeah, I don't know. Would they do that? That'd be a real question. Now, fun fact: according to ESPN Bet, this just came out. Jackson Dart is now minus 125, and past Shedeur Sanders is minus 120 as the favorite to be the second quarterback selected in the NFL draft. We'll get into that. How is that even possible? 888-760-3776. Would that be a career-ending mistake if somebody were to go Jackson Dart ahead of Shedeur Sanders? What is the reasoning of Shedeur dropping so far? Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo live in Boynton Beach at the Travis Hunter draft watch party, viewing party, which is going to be taking place here in just a few short hours. We take a time out here right here on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
While it's not always possible to see contaminated water coming out of the faucet, the taste is difficult to ignore. And what about plastics and pharmaceuticals now in the water? The team at Culligan is here to help. Culligan offers water testing and reverse osmosis systems designed to filter out those contaminants right at the source. Culligan has been helping the local community with water issues since 1936. Schedule your appointment today at Culligan.com.
Hey, Culligan man!
This is ESPN 106.3, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Find official rules for all your favorite ESPN West Palm contests by visiting ESPNWestPalmContests.com. That's ESPNWestPalmContests.com. You're listening to ESPN 106.3, the ESPN app, and streaming on your smart speaker.
Hey, Steph Prince here, General Manager of ESPN West Palm, to tell you about a team that has meant a lot to me and this community for a long time. Bob and the team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning have been helping me stay cool for years, whether at home or in the office. And living in South Florida with 3 kids, I don't know what I'd do without them. Family owned and operated, serving Royal Palm Beach and beyond since 1980. Let the knowledgeable and trained team at Bradley help you with your residential and commercial needs Installation, repair, seasonal maintenance, upgrades of all makes and styles and models of HVAC equipment, and so much more. Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning does things right the first time and makes the process smooth, stress-free, and most importantly, keeps you cool. Give them a call at 561-793-7497. That's 561-793-7497 or bradleyair.com. Any need, big or small, trust the amazing team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning.
Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, proudly representing the residents of South Florida since 1985, and proud supporter of Inter Miami FC on ESPN West Palm. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath has attorneys across South Florida ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients, and you won't pay anything unless you win your case. If you have been injured, call the attorneys at Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, 561-867-4117, or online at foryourrights.com. Main office in West Palm Beach.
Tired of being sidelined by a sports injury? Get back in the game with Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Whether you're a professional athlete or even a weekend warrior, you can get back to doing what you love with our compassionate orthopedic team. Experience a new level of care and get back to your best. Welcome to being treated like a pro. Make an appointment today at baptisthealth.net/ortho or call 833-556-6764.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
The NFL draft being in Green Bay, I think, provides quite a buzz to what we're expecting, and I think a little bit of the allure of the actual travel side of showing up, going somewhere, having an NFL feel to it. It's Russo and Rizzo live at the Boynton Beach Arts and Cultural Center right here in Boynton Beach, Florida, where Mike and I are right at the Travis Hunter draft viewing party, which is going to commence in just a few short hours when the NFL first round kicks off just about 3.5 hours from now on ESPN. And all the community surrounded and affiliated with Travis Hunter in some regard will be here. I know there's some youth teams that will be here. I know there's some family members that are going to be here. It's going to be a grand old time. Looking forward as people start piling in the next probably hour or so. But we're on ESPN 106.3 and streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X at ESPN West Palm. Drafts in Green Bay. I think the draft in Green Bay adds quite a bit of allure because I think people are talking about that. People travel for it. Green Bay is not the easiest place to get to in the world. It's one of those things where you either been to Lambeau or you haven't.
Exactly.
And fans now have a reason because, you don't play the Packers every year.
Yep.
And they have a reason to go to Lambeau, provide a jolt to that city. This has not been a new thing for the NFL. The NFL was the draft was in New York City for 50 years. It was in Chicago. It was in Philadelphia. And then it bounced around a little bit. 2018, it was in Arlington. 2019, it was in Nashville. Then you had the virtual one. It was in Cleveland, of course, Vegas, Kansas City, Detroit, Green Bay, and then next year's in Pittsburgh. It's starting to bounce around a little bit.
And I think it's good for the cities. I think it's good for the cities, and it's good for cities like that to showcase exactly what it's about. Because, when you think of Detroit, the stigmatism, Detroit stinks. I heard that was a great draft. Same vice versa for Cleveland. I kind of like that they're hopping around, showcasing different cities.
It's a different feel to go to the draft because you're not going to be a fan and then lose a game. Everybody's yelling at you in the parking lot, dumping beers on your head and seat 38A. Like nobody's doing that.
Eagle fan.
Instead, you're going to just celebrate your team. You're going to be happy most likely with whatever pick you make. You're just kind of going for the experience.
Yeah, and I would have loved that. I joked around with our program director, Brian Rowitz. I said, Brian, no draft? My God, we have two sister stations up there in Wisconsin. I've never been to Lambeau. Now, you've been.
Yes.
You've been.
And Green Bay is great because it's a suburban town and then plopped as an NFL stadium right in the middle of it.
Unbelievable.
And so I assume that's going to be a huge jolt to the actual – I'm sure it's impossible to get a hotel room in Green Bay because it's just not that big. But I think that adds a little bit of pizzazz, and it's in Pittsburgh next year. I think they should really lean into this. Yeah. Lean into some of these not smaller market teams, but, they make a bid for it. It doesn't need to be like the Super Bowl where it's in Scottsdale, Vegas, L.A., and New York every year. Have it jump around. Green Bay is good. Have it be in Minneapolis one year. Have it one time, and Kansas City they've already done. Have it be in Jacksonville. Why not? Jacksonville can use the boost.
You've been?
I have not been to Jacksonville.
I've never been to Jacksonville either.
Atlanta. Do Atlanta for a year. Do these little – Carolina would be fun. Charlotte.
Yep.
That'd be like, do these little cities. I like how the NFL is shifting that because they've turned the draft into an event. Similar to the Super Bowl, similar to the championship games, similar to the first week of the season. They've turned it into an event. The Combine is an event.
It is.
The draft is now, I would say, the biggest event in between the start date and the end date of the NFL.
Agreed. And you break it down all year long, basically. They've been, how long have they been making these mock drafts? Kyle, they've been driving you crazy specifically
because
about the mock drafts. Yeah.
Once you lose 5 games in the first 8 weeks, all of a sudden everybody's in mock draft season.
It's all about Travis Hunter's season, Cam Ward's season, whoever the popular player is within college football. I also think this year specifically with Green Bay, Colin, Green Bay's like, in a sense, Wrigley, Fenway, just one of those sacrilegious football places that I think you got to go at least one time. Would you agree? Just because of the history, the allure, with all the great teams that they had at the start of the NFL, I would have loved to gone to this one particularly because I feel like Lambeau is one of those places where it's kind of sad.
And how often do the Browns play in the Packers in Lambeau?
Never.
Right? That's once every 10 years or once every 8 years they're doing something like that.
Never.
It doesn't happen frequently at all. So I think you're not going to Lambeau and you're missing other games. You lose the game. All of a sudden you got to find a way out of Lambeau,
right?
Or find a way out of Green Bay. You could go to Milwaukee. You could drive in for the day.
Yep.
You could spend the whole day there.
And Colin, I think it's good for the specific community. Like going back to your point,
it's an economic boost.
It is
about it
definitely like
Absolutely.
if going back to your point of let's keep doing this. Let's keep hopping around and making the draft a thing like this.
Have one in Buffalo.
Oh, it'd be awesome.
Do one in Buffalo.
Be awesome.
That's probably the next city, the niche city that I think would be great.
I've only driven through Buffalo. I've never stopped.
Been, yeah.
I've driven through Buffalo multiple times, but never stopped and went to a game or went to the city. But I got a buddy who's from there, and Colin, I feel like they'd put on a good show. And not the drunkard fan that, crashing tables and such. I think they would actually put on a really good show
Absolutely.
for the NFL.
And wait till that new stadium is done, and then Buffalo should be first on that list.
Yep.
I think there's niche city. Like, take advantage of this because you're creating almost a year-long calendar of the NFL.
Totally.
And they already have that to a degree with free agency and the combine, and then you got the draft workouts, and then you got the NFL draft, and then you got OTAs, you got training camp, the whole thing. But I think if you're going to do this, turn it into a celebration of the NFL all over the cities.
But yeah,
do
agreed.
Seattle one year. Do Santa Barbara? I mean, not Santa Barbara. Do Santa Clara one year, and do wherever the San Francisco 49ers play outside of San Francisco.
To Candlesticks.
Yeah, but wherever, do it there. Levi Stadium, or whatever they call it.
That's it.
Do it there, and do these little cities.
Yep.
I think that's great. Do the
too.
Mile High one year, and Buffalo would be my next one. That would be one where if it was in Buffalo, it's hard to get there. I try to consider going to that.
They deserve it, though. Like, I think that fan deserves it with everything they've been through as a team, and especially how good the team is, too. Like, how about Detroit? I know I keep going back to I keep going back to the Detroit one, but remember they brought Jared Goff out onto the stage. Like they brought their players out there. I feel like it was a nice twist for Detroit. Also, I want to correct myself. Sacrilegious, Colin, is something against religion,
right?
Like holy ground. How about that? Lambeau's like. This year with Lambeau, it's holy ground for football. It's the first couple of Super Bowls.
Yeah, it's a mecca.
There you go. It's a mecca for football.
It's what MSG is to the NBA. That's what Lambeau is to the NFL.
Kyle, I remember you telling me your brother Timmy, who's a coach for Northern Arizona. The Final Four is like where a lot of business gets done, and I feel like the NFL draft is that too. The NFL draft is like it's a who's there when it comes to football, similar to the Super Bowl in that sense too. And I like the sports calendar. The NFL dominates the sports calendar. Man, I mean, between even like mini camp and OTAs, like cities that are into the nitty-gritty of their teams, like the Chicagos, the Clevelands, the New Yorks, they're talking about every little thing that happens in OTAs and mini camps. And I feel like the draft, Kyle, is the start of that fresh season. The draft is the start of the fresh NFL sports calendar.
Would you say that the NFL? You said the NFL dominates that season-long calendar.
It does.
Imagine being the NBA tonight.
Oh,
they got 3 playoff games, and they got a Knicks-Pistons game. I have no idea why the NBA scheduled a Knicks game when you got 2 New York teams picking in the top 10 of the draft. That's neither here nor there.
Goes back to scheduling, man.
That's on TNT. The best game of the day is Nuggets-Clippers. It's on NBA TV.
Oh.
It's on NBA TV, and let me read this properly because I saw this earlier.
Well, Silver already took his flowers.
I had problems watching the Miami game last night because the NBA TV and the blackouts, the local program. I have no cable, so that's a major problem in terms of getting the Miami game. That's neither here nor there. The Nuggets-Clippers is dealing with the same thing. Game 3 is tonight, and the series has been absolutely outstanding. Best series of the postseason so far. TNT opted not to carry it. It's on NBA TV. If you live in the Denver market, you won't be able to watch it on NBA TV because it's got local blackouts. The Denver region, it's only available on Altitude TV.
Wow. So if you don't pay for that channel, you don't get the game.
Or Altitude TV. What the hell is Altitude TV?
I'm assuming it's where
it's a Denver thing, yeah.
It's where like the Rockies, I'm assuming the Rockies, the whole nine.
But you can get a 3-day free trial and use promo codes there and that. That's the best way to watch it.
Use promo code Joker.
I saw this guy who works for Altitude TV on Twitter, and he said use this promo code, and you get the game for free tonight. Don't want you to miss it. Here's a solution. How about you have the game on national television where it belongs?
Which one are we moving to NBA TV then? Or do we even have to move a game? Dude, figure out how to – because the NBA likes that's their way of paywalling, right? They want people to purchase NBA. I'm assuming, right? They want people to purchase said NBA TV and to get it a part of the package. Now, Colin, the YouTube TV that you refused to let me give you as part of the 3 people that could have it, you could have been able to watch the game last night.
Yeah, right? I couldn't watch it. I couldn't watch it.
Yeah, but you would have been able to watch it if you took my YouTube TV, but neither here nor there. I think the NBA in general playing playoff games during the draft,
just
I understand that you can't pause it.
We knew that the New York teams had 2 picks in the top 10. That means they are locked into what is going on there. And you're going to play Knicks-Pistons Game 3? And if you're going to sit here and tell me that the NBA doesn't care about the NFL, they do. They do. They avoid Sundays. They avoid all that.
Right.
Every league in the business avoids the NFL like a plague. MLB does the same thing. I don't know why that game is at the same time.
Even during playoffs. Even during MLB playoffs.
You're hurting the fan. You're hurting the fan. The World Series avoids every day that the NFL plays for good reason. And the draft tonight is going to take a hefty piece out of the people that are tuning in to the Knicks Pistons.
So how do you fix it? You got to be more cognizant of.
Yeah, I would just make the Knick game tomorrow. Just do a 2-day break.
Hey, sorry, like the NBA schedule in general when it comes to playoffs never really made much sense to me.
Right.
Like even with the final games count, don't they get like 4 days off?
Oh my God.
3-4 days off.
Make the game on Wednesday and then give them the 3-day break and have them play during day 2.
Exactly.
There's your solution.
Exactly.
Why is the Knicks playing the same day as the Giants and the Jets are picking in the top 10?
So hang on, if you're a New York fan, all right? If you're a New York fan,
you pay attention to the draft.
Really?
I think they do.
There's a playoff game on the line.
Weirdly enough, I don't
know.
It's
a playoff game on the line.
You know, the thing is...
1-1, Kyle. It's back to Detroit.
I agree. What do you think the ratings are going to show in the New York area?
It's going to be NFL.
I don't know.
It'll be NFL.
That's a Knick town.
Is there a hockey game tonight, too, for the New York fan?
No New York teams are in the NHL. But, I mean, in terms of the comparison, you got Panthers Lightning tonight, which is at 6:30, so that's going to be done basically before the draft really gets going. You get Toronto and Ottawa again tonight. You have no issues there. You get the Golden Knights in the Wild. You got Vegas, I guess you have to deal with at 9 p.m. With the Raiders picking at 6. The Minnesota Wild, I mean, I don't know who's too wrapped up in what the Minnesota Vikings are
and I listen,
then you have St. Louis and Winnipeg, so it's actually pretty good. They actually did a decent job at that.
My hockey blinders are legit, as you guys say. I feel stupid. I didn't know a New York team was in the playoffs, but regardless, I feel like there's so much going on right now. NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs. And the NFL is still going to dominate on a draft. It's not Kyle. They're not playing a game. All right, they're not giving away hardware here. This isn't a trophy game. They're doing the NFL draft, and it's probably going to do monumental numbers.
Yeah,
it's going to do monumental numbers, especially in the football cities like New York, Chicago, the Clevelands. It's going to do monumental ratings.
Right. I can't fathom this. If you're the NBA. And you're going to have Nuggets-Clippers NBA TV at 10 p.m., your best game of the series. And you have it at 10 p.m., and you can only watch it on Altitude TV if you're in the Denver area. Or if you're going to have Knicks-Pistons with a New York game, and you got the New York Giants picking at 3 overall and the Jets picking at 6. And you're going to have the Knicks-Pistons going on at the same time on TNT? Really?
Altitude TV.
Altitude TV is what they call it. That's the dumbest thing in the world.
It's killing me.
It's these local programming with the blackouts. It's incredible. It's possible to find these games. It's hard enough to find it in the regular season. It's even harder to find it in the and I suffered from that.
Yeah.
I have NBA TV, but I can't do it because I'm in the local area. I'm in the local South Florida area. I can't pick up the
And he
Miami
doesn't
game.
pay for NBA TV, so
I'm not paying
you're
for
all
cable.
done.
What are you, nuts? I'm not getting cable.
I offered you cable for free.
I'm not taking the charity cable either.
What did it?
That's not going to happen.
What does it go against? What does it go against? What is me being a friend saying, hey, Colin, I'm allowed to add somebody
YouTube
on this.
TV
You don't have to owe me anything, but I want you to be able to watch every game.
No. That's your YouTube TV that you pay for.
So what? I'm offering it to you.
That's not my YouTube TV. You paid for that YouTube TV that is yours to use.
Let me ask you this. Why not pay for YouTube TV? It's $80 a month.
That's outrageous.
It is outrageous.
What channels do you use on YouTube TV?
I use it for sports.
Channels.
Hang on, Kyle, hang on. Remember I told you I watched Roadhouse? I watched Roadhouse.
You probably watch Roadhouse
TV.
on any streaming service.
But still, I would have never been laughing my you-know-what off about Roadhouse and had that conversation with you if I didn't have YouTube TV.
That makes the $80 a month worth it?
Guess so.
Because you watch Roadhouse?
You want something to drink? Black coffee.
Because you watched Roadhouse on your YouTube TV.
Dalton, what do you want? Liquor? Black coffee.
I'm not going to get YouTube TV. I don't know. I don't see the bang for my buck. I don't. And they're raising the prices. I can't give into that.
Dude,
I can't give into that.
$80.
I can't get into
so,
that.
but hang on. So you pay.
That's abolish the
I'm trying
system.
to. Yeah, you are. I guess you. I'm not saying you're cheap, Kyle, but
I'm not
you
cheap.
are.
I'm cognizant of what I'm going to pay for.
You
I have
are.
the apps and the good.
You have the
Excuse me.
Hang on. So you pay for Amazon, Peacock, Netflix.
I have Netflix. I have the cheap version with the ads, which is terrible. But because you don't even get new things.
Well, here's the issue, and I don't mean to bring up Raw on draft night, but listen, I found out that commercials were a thing on Raw on Netflix, and I'm like, God, they get you. That's how they get you.
That's how they
Live
get you.
sporting events. Live
And when
sporting events.
YouTube TV keeps raising their prices and you keep paying it, you're exactly the guy.
I'm the problem. I'm the issue. So, Colin, when I moved to Peoria about 4 years ago, I got YouTube TV. You want to guess how much it was? Take a guess.
What is it now? 83?
About,
I remember it raised. It was like 83.
Partner, I pay for HD and a couple of extra NBA.
You have to pay for HD on top of
4K. I pay for the 4K for my 4K TV.
4K TV.
It's like $7 extra a month. So I pay
$7 extra a
$90.
month for the YouTube TV.
Yeah, for 4K.
They charge you extra for it to be HD?
For 4K, yeah.
4K is the HD, right?
Sure. Yeah, well, 4K is the highest streaming
resolution.
Yeah. So for all my games,
They
I watch
charge
it
you
4K.
extra on top of the $80
So I pay
a month.
about 90. I pay about 90 a month.
That is stupid.
But do you have a guess what it originally was?
I'm going to guess half that.
Dude, it was like 60. It's like $60.
Yeah.
And like at the time,
I think it was better than that even before that.
And at the time, I remember texting my brother who was still on the line. I'm like, bro. He goes, is it good? I'm like, Joe, it's everything. Like, it's so easy. Like, I'm like,
it's cable. That's what it is.
But my mother, Colin, she's not technologically sound. Let's just put it that way. And she could use YouTube TV. Like, it's that easy. It's got all, like, if you're a sports fan, Kyle, you go to your homepage, it's got all the big games.
YouTube TV.
Yeah,
it's nice.
It's great.
The multi-box, it is nice.
Colin, I can watch on my phone. I can watch on my laptop. That's how I'm able to have, like, multiple games on at a time because you know my setup. I got my gaming setup. I got my monitors. Like, I could have 4 games on at once, especially Premier League mornings.
But that's the thing. I don't pay the $7 for the HD is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. I don't understand how they charge you that.
It's
that
for
is
4K,
ridiculous.
but it's 4K.
What do you mean for 4K? That should be included. It's a TV. We're in the 21st century. Like, I mean,
but there's
give
a
the guy
difference.
HD included.
There's a difference between HD and 4K.
No, but I understand. But they shouldn't make that an additional
You ever
cost.
watching 4K? Unreal.
It's
Unreal.
HD regardless.
I'm proud.
I can watch it off my phone.
Kyle, I'm proud of that $7.
An NBA game in 4K. What do you even notice? It's HD regardless.
So you want to know what made me make the change? Because like originally I didn't. Kyle, it was a national championship game. I was watching in my apartment. I was watching my Buckeyes in the apartment. I go, why does this not look up to standards? Sure enough, I went into my settings on my laptop, and like I saw there was an option.
You're watching on your laptop.
No. I was watching on my big screen, but I went into my settings on my desktop on my ThinkPad. And I saw that there was an option, hey, 4K. And I'm like, that's why it looks so bad. And I paid for 4K. It was a night and day difference.
You paid for 4K during the game?
During the game because I wanted the full experience as I was screaming at Big Tyreek Williams.
Full experience? What? I don't know. I can't contemplate.
I wanted my Buckeyes.
That's how they get you. You're the guys they bank on.
Kyle, I'm a sucker.
You are.
I'm
That's
a
the guy
sucker.
you're the guy they bank on.
I'm a
When it's
sucker.
$185 a month for YouTube TV, you're the guy that they're going to be banking on.
Kyle, take it.
Let me take it.
Take it. Take it.
Wait till 5K comes out, and they're going to charge you for the 4K, and then they're going to charge you extra for the 5K.
Colin, I guess I'm too much of a millennial to have some guy in a truck come in and install a wire and have 15 different remotes. Remember growing up, you had 5 different remotes.
Right.
No one knew how to work a damn
it's
TV.
Easy, but I'm saying the raising of the prices.
Just to avoid that.
And
I'll pay $10 extra to avoid that.
So you were able to get the Miami Heat game on the local?
Yeah.
Did that work for that?
Yeah.
Because I don't know the rules with the YouTube TV.
Yeah,
and being able to.
No.
I
I had NBA TV. They have NBA TV. You're allowed to watch.
Okay, and you had it local.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
So Kyle, they have MLB Network. YouTube TV has MLB Network and NBA TV.
I know that, but NBA TV, I thought in the local market you couldn't watch it. You had to go on local TV, the local affiliate.
I was able to watch on NBA TV through YouTube.
Do you have a VPN?
No.
No, you don't. Okay.
No, I was able to watch in my living room.
Because I wasn't able to get it, and that annoyed me.
The only blackouts I get are the Marlins on my – because I tried watching a Marlin game the other night on my MLB package, and I couldn't watch it, and I'm not paying for – what is it, FanDuel down here?
Right.
I'm not paying for that, man. If it's not on YouTube TV, I'm not paying for it.
Oh, now you're cutting costs.
That's where I put my foot down.
Now you're cutting costs.
That's where I put my foot down.
Right, Marlins regular season games?
That's where I put my foot down.
All right.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I agree.
Is that fair?
I was just annoyed by that because now you got to watch the Denver game on Altitude TV, and you couldn't get the Heat game on NBA TV in the local branding or whatever it is, the local markets, the TV collections.
Yep.
That is ridiculous. That is stupid. I'm sitting there. I have the login. That's the thing. I have all these apps, and I have the logins because I pay for the Amazon Prime. I pay for the Netflix,
the Peacock,
the Paramount Plus. I get with my TV provider.
Perfect.
With my parents' TV provider.
Perfect.
So I still log into that. No problem. We get free. I don't know.
Do they have Paramount's miserable at commercials?
They have
miserable.
Optimum. They have Optimum.
So
that's the
no
I don't
commercials.
know, Cablevision. They're old school.
Okay.
But I still have that, so I'm able to use the Paramount with that. And then what are the other ones? Peacock.
Yeah.
Peacock I pay for, which is fine. And then
Hulu, ESPN Plus.
Hulu, ESPN Plus is on top of the
Disney Plus.
So
you
Optimum
pay for the
bundle. The Optimum is included.
The $16 a month for Disney, ESPN,
I don't pay
and
that.
Hulu.
That's in my Optimum thing.
Okay.
That's in the Optimum.
Okay.
Thing. So I'm in good shape.
All right. So you have a
I fiend off my parents a little bit.
Essentially, that's fine. Essentially, you have a smart TV that with all the apps on it. Essentially. Okay.
And then no cable.
I just don't understand how you you crack me up when you go, yeah, I watched the game on the CBS app. Bro, I tried doing that. I'm not able to watch the game on the CBS app.
The CBS app, is brutal.
You're so full of it.
No, please. The CBS app is doable. It's brutal, but it's doable.
Full of it.
The CBS, I have the CBS app. I have the CBS Sports Network app because it's 2 different apps.
But you got to pay for that stuff, man.
No, because it's all TV provider stuff. So the Optimum, you just log in with the Optimum. Or Paramount Plus is the same thing.
So, dude, your
Paramount is Plus is the same thing.
You have cable.
I do not have cable.
You have cable through your parents.
I do not have cable.
Through your parents,
It depends
you have
on the app. It depends on the app. It depends on the app. It depends on the app. I'll be fair. Fox and CBS, I use the Optimum login because that's how you got to do it. You got to do the Fox because you got to log in and do something. How else am I going to get it on the app? And I don't know. I'm not going to incriminate myself. Here and there, I'll find alternative routes to watch the game.
He's bootlegging,
but. The Fox and the CBS app, I watch via that. I do not have. I have the YouTube TV. I pay for the Sunday ticket, I fiended them because.
So hang on.
This is my fight back. This is a win for the good guys. You're gonna like this.
You paid for Sunday ticket through YouTube TV. You gotta.
No. Because my Wisconsin student ID still worked, so I was able to get the student pricing.
On what though? YouTube. What service?
YouTube TV. For the Sunday ticket.
Oh, so
you get a student, your student deal.
They let you use your. Hang on. They let you use.
Hopefully they're not listening. I'm going to try that again.
They let you use your Wisconsin student ID to pay for.
You get a college price.
What is it? The $80? Was it 80? A flat rate of 80?
No. Oh, per month for the Sunday ticket?
Yeah.
No. The Sunday ticket is it might be 80 a month, but it's like $400 or $500 normal. If you're getting it without YouTube TV, you get a discounted price with YouTube TV.
Yeah, that's why I'm that's why I'm dumbfounded now.
But you could pay for it straight up with that, or you get student pricing and you don't get as many games. You get 2 games, and sometimes you got to finagle it. You got to do this game on the computer, do that game on this.
I'll tell you
what. Hold on. And
you're like Inspector Magoo over here.
I checked because I had it when I was in college, the Sunday ticket with my roommates, and I used my Wisconsin ID, and they give you student pricing. For some reason, it didn't clarify that it didn't check that I graduated a couple months prior. Now I might be burned this coming year,
Yeah,
but I was able to get it for like it was like $100. It was like $90 for the year.
So what are you going to do if it doesn't work?
I don't know. We have to make a decision.
You're going to have to come
I'm
over
not
to old
succumbing to
Uncle Rizzy's
I'm not
YouTube
succumbing to
TV,
YouTube TV because that's a supporting
Would you,
system.
if I get Sunday ticket, do you want to use it?
No.
You could use it.
No, I will buy the Sunday ticket. That is worth it because you're going to
We're friends. You could use it. It's okay.
I don't want the charity.
It's not charity, man.
I don't want the charity.
We do a show together. I need you to be able to watch these games.
Well, I'm going to watch the games.
Brian, am I missing our content director? Am I missing something here?
No, it's fine. I'm not going to not buy it. I'm just saying I'm going to try to use my student ID.
He's going to be bootlegging at that damn apartment with no furniture already. All right? No. Just use it.
It's going to work. It's going to work. We had that caller a couple months ago who said he's got the app.
Oh, God, that shade
He's
ball
like, I got
that
an
called
app.
in.
And it was his app, essentially, and it was just a pirated app.
It's a beta.
Everything.
They didn't even release that to the
Maybe I'll use that. Maybe I'll use that.
Kyle, it was a beta.
Maybe I'll use that. Maybe I'll use that.
You're not using
that. Might be what I do. I don't know. I just think it's too much money.
So how would you watch the NFL draft tonight if you were home?
It's on ESPN.
So you watch on they have it on ESPN Plus?
The ESPN
app? Like how
yes,
are you watching
the app
this?
is included in that, I think.
Brother, is the draft on ESPN Plus? That's my question, because that's the only way you'd be able to watch it.
No, I'm logged in on ESPN.
Or did you hang on? Is that the backdoor channeling that you do through your parents?
Yeah.
What do you call it?
It's the.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
They still have cable.
Yes.
They still have.
Are you
cable.
slinging? You're slinging. Is
For
it sling
the major networks? NBC? No, not NBC. For CBS, Fox, and ESPN, I use that. And it probably
is
on
on
ESPN Plus.
No, per Christian Cat.
But no, I do have the normal.
What
ESPN
I'm asking
thing.
you is like you're finagling.
I'm not finagling.
You're finagling.
That's not finagling.
Is it sling?
The thing
is it Sling TV?
They must have unlimited logins because I could use.
What provider is this?
Optimum. You've never heard of Optimum?
Never.
You never heard of Optimum?
Is that a Midwest?
I think it's a Northeast thing, Colin. I've got Optimum. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
okay,
right.
yeah.
Why
my
would
Midwest
it be a Midwest thing?
My Midwest. No, I was saying my Midwest blinders are showing. I have no idea what.
Oh, you never heard of Optimum?
Never,
All right,
never.
It's old school. It's old school.
Okay,
they still have the cable box, the whole thing. They even cut the wire, so to speak.
And they now have an app, and you log into.
They don't have an app. When you log in on the hold on. When they log in on the TV provider, you see that right when you're on the apps. You don't use the apps. You have the YouTube TV. You've never even seen the app before.
Optimum.
I'm so used to these apps.
Hang on, I'm getting to the bottom of this. Optimum has an app for your TV, and you use
No,
that.
I do not use that. I don't have an Optimum app.
Okay, so
it doesn't work like that. You need a cable box to get the actual full cable.
Okay.
But you can log in via your Optimum account on the Fox app or the CBS app.
I see. Okay, that's it.
Does that make sense?
It does. It does. It does.
So that is good. We got a caller here. Christian, who do we got for us?
Got John and Jensen Beach on line 1.
John, what do you got for us?
All right, guys. So first off, let me give you some credentials here. I have a professionally installed 5-screen setup in my living room.
John, say that again.
John, restart for us, brother. Restart from the beginning.
All right. I just want to give you credentials before I start going into this. I have a 5-screen professionally installed setup in my living room.
Oh, boy. Here we go. All
right.
Go ahead.
All right. So I want to ask you a question. When you log into Mom's Cable, when you go to watch ESPN via Mom's Cable subscription, do you have to call Mom and ask her for the code to put in your phone?
No, they don't ask for the code. Optimum is so old school that they don't even ask for the code.
I'm not buying
There's
that.
no the two-factor authentication. So there's that.
John, I'm not buying that.
All right, and neither am I. And I want to correct something he said about YouTube TV. It does not have MLB Network, just FYI. So that's a downside to YouTube, but YouTube is the best.
All right, you're Mr. Streaming Service. What do you do, John?
John,
hang on. How do you break yours down to us? I'm so confused here.
Johnny, I have MLB TV. Am I paying for it then? I have it on that.
Yeah, you don't have it on YouTube TV. You probably have it through the MLB package, right? That you link to your YouTube TV.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's it. That's it.
I have the same setup. I get you.
Okay.
I got you. Right. So here's the thing. YouTube TV is my basic network. Right, that's my basic setup.
It's great.
That I link all my apps
it's
to.
great.
It's the best out there, right? Fubo TV has all your regional sports, but since the Marlins are a AAA team, I'm not paying for regional sports.
So you have...
Yeah, I said the same thing to Colin 15 minutes ago.
So I needed Fubo TV to watch the Heat last night?
They were on the regional, yes. Here's the other thing about YouTube TV, the 4K that you were talking about. You pay for that if you want unlimited streams. So, like, if I don't pay for the 4K, I can only hook 3 of my TVs up to YouTube TV. Otherwise, I have to go through apps.
John, do you how often do you use all 5 TVs?
Often, right?
Every single night.
Yeah. What do you even have?
We'll have the draft on the big screen tonight. We'll have the Panthers playoff game. We'll have 3 MLB games going.
Yeah,
and
it's Johnny.
Yeah, really.
John, I'm that guy as well. I have 4 monitors that I have. I have 2 monitors. I have my gaming monitor, and I have my TV and my laptop. Dude, Colin, I'll have 2 of my fantasy pictures on two of them. I'll have something on center stage, as I call it. Dude, you always got games on.
John, all right, first mistake, John. You gotta have
all year round, baby.
Always got
round.
Johnny. We always got games.
You gotta have the Knick game on 1. That's not fair. You gotta have the Knick game on 1.
Yeah, so NBA, I'm a little NBA. I gotta look at the odds tonight and see if I want to do any NBA action. But NBA is not my favorite sport.
Fair enough. All right, John. We appreciate the call. Thank you for coming and giving us your rundown. So I need Fubo TV if I want the regional sports coverage. Yeah, I'm not buying that. That's not going to happen.
No. But to John's point, we were still able to get that Heat game last night. So
there must be something.
Yeah,
there must be something that you're paying for that you don't realize you're paying for.
I still got that. I still got that Heat game last night.
888-760. Go ahead, Christian.
Yeah, I have ESPN Plus, and I got the Heat game. And you know what it is? It was on, actually, maybe I didn't get the Heat game. Never mind. I'm thinking about it because ESPN Plus covers a bunch. I've got Hulu Live TV, which gives me a lot of stuff. I think the Hulu Live TV does give you the local stuff because it asks for your zip code. And it geolocates you.
And you were able to get the Heat game via Hulu.
I mean, you think I wasn't watching the Cavs last night? Like, if I wasn't able to watch the Cavaliers, like I would have threw a fit.
I couldn't watch that game. I was very upset by that. Especially that it got close towards the end. And there was a very interesting fourth quarter. I wasn't able to watch that. And I would be able to log into the NBA stuff on my computer, no problem. I'd be able to do that. And then all of a sudden, you can't do that because of your zip code. Maybe I should have VPN'd it. Neither here nor there. Too late to discuss that now. But Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Christian Cat, 888-760-3776. I'm curious now. The setups. Are you a YouTube TV buyer? Do you do the apps, the expansion apps like myself? Do you log in?
Dude, your system is crazy. You have a crazy system.
It works, I think.
Till that Optimum app doesn't.
Optimum, doesn't even have customer service
Christian,
anymore.
Optima or Optimum?
Optimum.
Why are you asking me? He's right in front of you. Optimum.
Optimum.
You're a Northeast guy, too.
But all I'm saying is that you're in a position where if I'm hear it. Let's hear it from the fans. 888-760-3776. What is that setup? Are you a YouTube TV buyer? Is that worth it? Do you pay for the 4K like Mike does? Do you do Fubo TV? Do you finagle apps? What do you use? 888-760-3776. With the NFL draft on tonight, you got not regionally available NBA games on. If you're in Denver, if you were in Miami last night, you got the MLB, of course. There's a lot to watch now, and there's going to need to figure out how to finagle and get it on the TV. 888-760-3776. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat, Russo and Rizzo from ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
I'm Ellie Anajar of Anajar and Levine. Injured in a car crash? Never rush to settle with insurance companies and never settle for just any attorney. Demand Anajar and Levine. Our experienced legal team will fight to win you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call me, Ellie Anajar, for a free consultation and take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In office, West Palm Beach.
At St. Lucie Battery and Tire, batteries came before tires. We've been selling and servicing all types of batteries for over 50 years. So when you need a battery for nearly anything, we have it, as well as the fast, professional installation you need. We carry premium batteries for all your needs: automotive, commercial, marine, RV, and specialty. We also offer delivery and on-site installation, serving our customers quality products for over 50 years in the home of honest, reliable service. Go to slbt.com and book your next appointment.
Introducing the bold, the powerful, the all-new 2025 Range Rover Sport P530 Dynamic SE. A luxury SUV that commands attention with its refined design, dynamic performance, and cutting-edge technology. Lease the 2025 Range Rover Sport for just $15.29 per month for 36 months. Drive in style, power, and comfort, all for just $15.29 a month. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach today and take the new Range Rover Sport for a spin. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details.
It's been a chilly start to the year, but don't let the rising temperatures catch you off guard. Hey, it's Colin Russo, and since 1960, John C. Cassidy Air Conditioning and Plumbing has proudly served Palm Beach County, keeping homes cool and comfortable. Now's the time to upgrade your AC with great financing options. Plus, ask about the Cassidy Care Club, providing year-round peace of mind. Cassidy is part of our local community and supports organizations like the YMCA and the Palm Beach Gardens Youth Athletic Association. Keep cool with Cassidy Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Find out more at CassidyAC.com.
It's the Hard Rock Bet Battle of the Bets. 2 bets facing off. Winning side splits $250K in bonus bets every single day. Time to pick a side. Team underdogs or team favorites. Team over or team under. There's one way to settle this. Hard Rock Bet Battle of the Bets. Pick a side for $1. Win your share of $250K or more today. Prize pool will be paid out in bonus bets, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Drop the puck. Join ESPN West Palm and Coors Light Saturday, April 26th from 12:30 to 2:30 at Barbecue Beer Company in Jensen Beach as the Florida Panthers take on their in-state rivals, the Tampa Bay Lightning. Enjoy ice-cold Coors Light and Coors Banquet for $3. Score big with giveaways, including signed Panthers memorabilia, courtesy of Palm Beach Autographs. Must be 21 or older to participate. Coors Brewing Company reminds you to drink responsibly.
What would you do with an extra $700? You can earn up to $700 per year with Boost Checking from Flagler Credit Union. Boost Checking pays 7.0 annual percentage yield on balances up to $10,000. That's up to $700 extra to do what you love. Boost Checking from Flagler Credit Union. Requirements apply to earn the highest dividend rates. Limit 1 checking account per membership. Dividend rates and annual percentage yield subject to change. Business accounts do not qualify. Insured by NCUA, proud partner of Florida Atlantic University Athletics.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Russo and Rizzo live in Boynton Beach at the Travis Hunter viewing draft party, which is going to be commencing a little later on with Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat helping us out back at the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach on ESPN 106.3. If you've been in a car accident, truck accident, suffered a slip and fall, my friends Mark Anajar and Glenn Levine at Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys, they're here to fight for you. They don't charge you unless you win. They work tirelessly to get you the maximum compensation that you deserve. Don't settle for just any attorney. Demand Anajar and Levine today, because that's the Anajar and Levine difference. All it takes is one phone call to take back control of your life today. Don't wait. Call for that free consultation now. That's 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Take back control now with Anajar and Levine. 888-760-3776, number to get into the program on Russo and Rizzo. We go to Connecticut. Greg in Connecticut joining the program now. Greg, what's up? What do you have in mind?
How's it going, Greg?
What's up, Kyle Rizzo? How we doing?
Good, brother.
Good.
Yeah, well, I wanted to talk a little bit. First off, YouTube TV, definitely the best system.
You pay
no,
for
I don't
it, huh?
pay for it. No, I don't. I use my sister's. All right, she gave me the login.
Hang on, Greg. Tell Colin to take me up on that offer. I'm literally offering it to him. He's telling me to kick rocks.
Take up on your buddy, your partner Rizzo. He's giving you a great gesture here for this free login,
Right.
Kyle.
Right.
Don't you want that?
Yeah, it's a nice gesture, and I appreciate that.
My buddy, man, what do you want?
It feels kind of like charity. I don't need the charity.
I understand. I get it. It's a little different. Mine's in the family, so I got it. But really, I want to talk some sports, guys. I mean, I'm looking into this Clippers Nuggets series. I'm under the impression Clippers are going to take both these games in LA. And wow. I think they got a really good shot at the Thunder. What do you guys think about that?
Well, Greg, let me ask you this. I think the way I root for it is, I agree with you. I think that the Clippers would give the Thunder a better punch than the Nuggets would. I think the Clippers had a better chance of adjusting, a better 1 through 5, a little bit more well-rounded. So I'm going to root for that. Yep. But I do think, the Denver, if both of those games were neck and neck the whole way in that Denver building, which is a tough place to play, I think the Clippers are going to close this one and give the Thunder a good shot.
And I'll say this, Leonard's the best player in the series right now. I usually, come playoff time, and these series tend to lead who is playing the best and why. Like, Leonard is playing the best because he is finally fully healthy. And the Clippers are playing good basketball because James Harden is taking a step backwards and being a 2B, arguably for the first time in his career. While on the flip side, you got Denver. They don't have their head coach in Michael Malone anymore. I think that whole locker room is kind of confused a little bit, partners. So I would lean Clippers in 7. I do think Denver is probably going to win a game.
I agree.
But in LA, but just because they do doesn't mean the Clips can't pull it out.
Now, Greg, can OKC lose before, let's say, the conference finals?
I think that OKC can definitely lose. I think that Clippers give them a great matchup there. I mean, who's second round? So? I mean, who's
guarding Leonard
in the second round?
Who's guarding Leonard?
Jalen Williams, probably. Jalen Williams, probably.
He's decent enough, but I feel like at this point nobody can guard him. That's my point.
It's right now he's an argument to be one of the best. He might be the best player in the league right now. I mean, just what he brings offensively right now. Plus, you know what he's doing on defense. You put him on Shea. Who's going to step up? Obviously, you got a lot of good guys in Oklahoma City. Who's going to step up and be that guy?
The one thing I would say about OKC, too, is if they fly through the Grizzlies and all of a sudden they get a week and a half off, now there's two sides to this coin. If the Clippers are in a grinded-out 7-game series, they might be a little burnt out. But on the flip side of things, they'd also be a little bit more battle-tested. And if OKC hasn't played a tight game the entire postseason, all of a sudden they're down, drop a game at home, they got all the pressure in the world on them. So I think that would favor the Clippers in that sense.
Yeah, I definitely think so, too. I mean, I'm excited. I think it's going to be great either way. I guess so.
Partner, what's your take on the NFL draft tonight? What do you think is going to be the biggest storyline there?
Well, that's where I was about to shift over to. I'm a big Giants fan, since a kid. I'm still praying. We're just going to sit there and take Carter. We want to move back.
You don't want to trade back?
Round.
You don't want to trade back?
No, I don't want to. I don't really want to trade back. I mean, I think a nightmare scenario, worst-case scenario for the Giants here, is trade back and end up just leaving the first round with just a quarterback. I think we got to build talent on the team. I really think taking Carter, if you want to trade back up and get Shedeur or take Jackson Dart, fine by me. But Abdul Carter, he's a blue-chip player.
Yeah, good call, Greg. Appreciate you
Greg.
chiming in. He wants Abdul Carter. That seemingly is the consensus amongst Giants fans. For me, I don't know.
You worried about his foot? You worried about that injury?
No, I'm not. But if I'm a Giant fan, I would say the most amount of players possible to build the most well-rounded team would be great. But on the flip side of things, if they get Abdul Carter, then all of a sudden you don't necessarily need all those edge rushers you have. You could chip off somebody like Kayvon Thibodeau and try to move your way back into a decent pick in the draft. So you could utilize that, because then all of a sudden you could get another player here in the second round or maybe even late first if you put some more assets into it. That's not the worst thing in the world. That's not the worst situation in the world. Or you can try it with all three. I don't think you need that. You need 2 great edge rushers. You don't need 3. So I would be under the impression that, Brian Burns, Abdul Carter, maybe some more picks, make a couple moves, get savvy. Give the Giant fan an impression that Joe Shane is operating with a sense of, I know what I'm doing, which would be the first time in a long time that Joe Shane and that whole front office has not looked
Was
like
that
fools.
Russell Wilson move what you just said in your opinion? Is it getting Wilson and passing on one of these quarterbacks, them knowing what they're doing?
Maybe, because what if they come out of this draft and they got 4 or 5 pretty impact players? I think the Giant fan will be pleased with that.
Colin, it's crazy. To your point of how mock drafts can steer the public and storylines can steer the public, every Giant fan I talked to wanted Shedeur Sanders 2 weeks ago. Now no Giant fan wants to touch him with the 12-foot pole.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
It's crazy.
It is bizarre.
It's nuts. It's like, I don't know what could have possibly happened. Maybe the grade finally came out from all the GMs. Maybe these guys actually heard something of substance that they could report on other than just speculating, hey, like the speculation column was probably people reach on quarterbacks. These 2 are the top 2 quarterbacks, so they'll probably go within the top 10. That's my best guess at this point. And then they actually started talking to GMs, and GMs started saying, I don't even have a first-round grade on him. So that's what I think actually happened. I still think that he's going to go within the top 10.
I think they were thinking that until they signed Wilson, and then all of a sudden things kind of changed in terms of where they're looking.
Kyle, even with other teams, right? Even with other teams, like even excluding the Giants, like I still think
it's the rumor mill has deterred people's perception on Shedeur Sanders.
Right.
The rumor mill has.
Yeah, not
because they are believing what the teams believe too, and people have a right to do that.
They do.
That's fair. And I agree, though. This happens every year. Somebody is all of a sudden a world-renowned prospect after not being that because of buzz going into the draft. And on the flip side of things, people drop and all of a sudden they stink because you haven't watched them in 5 months, and it's a little dry in your mind.
Outside of the glam, right? Outside of the Cam Ward and Travis, I wouldn't even put Travis under the glam. It's just like a no doubt he's probably going to go within the top 2. But Colin, players like Abdul Carter, Will Campbell, Genty, Mason Graham, like these are good players, man. These are players who could possibly maybe, in Christmas of drafts past could have gone 1 or 2 if you didn't have a Travis Hunter-esque kind of player. So this is, I think, within at least the top 10 picks, Colin, you're getting a good bang for your buck if you're a team within the top 10. And I think a couple of these teams are sick that there aren't quarterbacks, that they can't trade back, acquire assets, and pick them later on in the draft. That's not the sense. If you want these players, you're going to have to be at the pick tonight.
Key with the draft is look smart if you're the Giants. Look smart. Look smart. Give off a perception that you know what you're doing. And that's the first time in about 2 years that the Giants can even say that. Because whether you thought it was a smart move with Daniel Jones, it looked stupid about 2 months later. And then all of a sudden, if you think it was a smart move with letting Saquon walk, and then you watch the Hard Knocks offseason, and they look like fools. And throughout the whole season with Saquon Barkley tearing it up, you think, oh, it's great, it's dandy. It's not. We've got to do a little 5 and 5 on the flip side of things. We'll take a time out here live from the Boynton Beach Arts and Cultural Center in Boynton Beach, Florida, with the Travis Hunter draft viewing party just a couple hours away. The first round of the NFL draft at Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin. That's Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Christian Cat. Little 5 and 5 on the flip side of things. Second hour of Russo and Rizzo coming up. Don't go anywhere on ESPN 106.3.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 106.3.
WUUB Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
Experience the thrill of Formula One in Miami, May 2nd through the 4th. For the first time, one-day grandstand tickets are available starting at just $65. Feel all the rush of the 3-day grandstand ticket with the most immersive experience at the best value. Choose your vantage point with the breathtaking views of all the action. Visit F1MiamiGP.com to explore grandstand options and secure a spot at the 2025 Formula One Crypto.com Miami Grand Prix. The race that's an experience.
Join the hunt for a Stanley Cup with ESPN West Palm and Yuengling. Watch Game 2 of the Florida Panthers Tampa Bay Lightning series with us tonight at Thirsty Turtle North Lake in West Palm Beach. Face-off is at 6:30. The ESPN West Palm Street team will be hanging out with your opportunity to play Cup Pong for Yuengling promo items. Plus, enjoy Yuengling Lager drafts and Yuengling Light drafts for just $3.25 and flight bottles for just $3.95. Yuengling, legends stand the test of time.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Transworld Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
Cruise the campus, explore the circuit, experience F1 Miami like never before. Your general admission ticket to the 2025 Formula One Crypto.com Miami Grand Prix is here. Immerse yourself in the action with unparalleled access to different campus zones. Enjoy thrilling activities, live entertainment, and endless food and beverage options while witnessing the race, all for less than $150 per day. Visit F1MiamiGP.com to secure your spot at the 2025 Formula One Crypto.com Miami Grand Prix.
Work Zone Awareness Week is a reminder to prioritize safety every time you drive. Road workers are out there improving Florida's highways, and they depend on you to slow down and stay alert. Speeding and distractions put lives at risk, yours and theirs. Let's work together to protect everyone on the road. Remember, when you see orange cones, safety comes first. This is a message brought to you by the Florida Department of Transportation.
Oh, great. Just what I needed. More reasons to feel insecure. Have you seen the new ESPN 1063 billboards on I-95? Theoretically speaking with Theo Dorsey and CCAT, big smiles, looking all important. Russo and Rizzo with Colin and Mike, like they just solved world hunger. And me? No giant Evan Cohen face gazing down on traffic. Unbelievable. But hey, at least you can listen to us weekday mornings 6 to 10 on Unsportsmanlike along with Chris Canty and Michelle Smallman right here on ESPN 1063. Because let's be honest, a billboard couldn't contain this level of greatness.
The new Spring Blizzard menu is here at DQ Grill & Chill. Cue the confetti! The blizzard of the month is the Confetti Cake Blizzard, a delightful blend of confetti cake pieces and confetti frosting, mixed perfectly with DQ's world-famous soft serve. The Confetti Cake Blizzard, just part of the new Spring Blizzard menu, which also features s'mores, cotton candy, and 2 brand new blizzards, dipped strawberry cheesecake, and mixing bowl mashup. DQ Grill & Chill with 2 locations, 4828 Lake Worth Road and US 1 just south of North Lake.
ESPN West Palm is highlighting the best performance of the week, presented by Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Every week, a different team will be featured across ESPN 1063 and ESPN West Palm Play. The winning performance receives $500, courtesy of Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Do you know a team, player, or school with a killer performance? Nominate them by emailing highschool@espnwestpalm.com. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Go where the pros go.
Now, it's time for a little R&R.
All into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Ball game, Rizzo! Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 1063.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy! Light him up, Colin!
Second hour of Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3 with Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, and Christian Catt. We are in Boynton Beach at the Boynton Beach Arts and Cultural Center, where the Travis Hunter viewing a draft party will be taking place tonight. The NFL first round of the draft begins in just about a little under 3 hours, 2 hours and 52 minutes to go with coverage on ESPN tonight. One of the biggest marquee days of the NFL offseason, I would say in between the Super Bowl and Week 1. This might be the biggest day of the NFL offseason period that they've now turned into a big event over at Lambeau Field up in Green Bay, Wisconsin. It used to be in New York City for forever. Now they start to do a little bit of a world tour throughout the United States and giving a little city each a feel of the NFL draft and allow fans to travel, allow fans of the home team to really embrace it. And now it's turned into some big global event that the NFL can really capitalize on. So credit to them. But if you missed any of the program today, you want to listen back, go to Russo and Rizzo on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, all those great places. Christian Catt helping us out back at the City Play Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. Christian, how are you?
Doing fantastic. I'm a little bit jealous I'm not in Boynton Beach with you fellas, but somebody's got to man the ship back here in the studio.
You know, it was funny today. It's National Bring Your Kids to Work Day. Mike and I talked about it a bit yesterday. All of our teammates in the office who, parents who have kids, they're all in the same relative age group. I would say from the age group, mostly from the 12 range. I don't know how to read ages.
Dude, Colin, it was like 7 to 10, dude.
All right. So
it was like 7 to 10
years
bro.
old to like 6 years old.
And the funniest part is he talked to all of them the longest. Because he did 2 podcasts. The girls liked doing a podcast so much with Colin, they wanted to do it a second time. As we mentioned yesterday, I recorded commercials with them. Honest to God, Colin, I had a lot of fun with those kids today.
Yeah, it was great.
I had a lot of fun with those kids.
It was great,
today.
And the funniest part was one of them, a young man named River, was dressed exactly like Christian Catt.
Yeah.
He had a button-down Hawaiian shirt.
God.
And he didn't have like the khaki shorts or whatever, or the cargo shorts, whatever Christian usually wears. But I saw it. I'm like, this is Christian. And I saw they got a picture together too. Christian, what was that like?
It was surreal. It was like, wow, I can't believe
right?
it's finally catching on. Like
I don't know if it's a trendsetter moment. Is it not a coincidence?
It's a trend-setting. Christian, dude, let him take his victory lap, baby. It is trend-setting. I'm with it.
He looked a sharp-dressed young man. I was very happy to see that.
There was 2 sets of twins as well. Twins are rough, especially identical, because twins, they look exactly the same.
I kept getting their names wrong.
It was two sets of girls, and they were probably, I don't know, 9, 10, 8, something like that.
No, like 5. But
Not 5.
I think Steph's were about 5.
6 and 7. 6 and 7
I was
the ages.
Not 5.
So
what do you mean? A year apart. It was a year
those
off.
Those kids were 7 years old.
Oh, Terry's children, I'll tell you what, they're sharp.
They're
smart.
Sharp, good social skills for a batch of 5. They're not 5 years old, for a batch of 7-year-olds.
Do you guys want to power rank who are the best parents in the office now that we saw the product of their parents?
You could get a feel. You could give a feel. Because, kids are different. And
hey, Christian, I'll take this one. Stephanie Prince there you go. Number 1. Our GM, Stephanie Prince, number 1.
There's a couple wild childs in there, but that's fun. That's what being a kid's all about. But it was fascinating because one dressed exactly like Christian, and there were 2 sets of twins that I couldn't tell apart, but thankfully they were wearing different colored, clothing, which helped.
Yes.
So you could call them purple and blue if you needed it. But I did podcasts with them. I did the girls first, the 2 sets of twins, and it was something. I mean,
They were yelling at you.
We did boy troubles. They
dissect why you were
a single man.
God, dude. The guys got on you. The guys got on me,
but the girls claimed these girls are 5, 6 years old, 7 years old, claiming that I don't smell good and I'm ugly, and that is the reason.
God, man. Thank God.
I'm like, ladies, girls, come on, we're doing a podcast. Keep it somewhat professional. And then I go with the middle-aged group of kids. I think I'm all right with kids. I think I do a decent job.
I think we did great today, honestly.
And there's the middle-aged group of kids, and there's boys. So they're, I don't know. Again, 6, 7, 8 years old maybe.
So,
and we did some trivia with Minecraft with them, which was interesting.
Yeah.
And then I convinced them that there was like a ghost in the closet, and they all bought it.
What, did you look up like the baddie in Minecraft?
Yeah, and I convinced them there was a ghost in the closet. And then the older kids, we actually got to talk some sports, so it was not bad, not bad. But you know what Old Reliable is on those podcasts with the kids?
What's that?
You got to do boy troubles or girl troubles. If the young boy, because they all got girlfriends.
Wait, these kids had girlfriends?
Or boyfriends, all of them. Yeah. A couple girls had the boyfriends, and a couple of it's like, when you're a kid and you decide at recess, you're my boyfriend.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
It's like that. And breaking that
down. So you have had a girlfriend?
No, I haven't.
So even at recess?
I didn't say that was my situation. I said that was their situation. I said it was a hoot to talk about. It was a lot of fun. 888-760-3776, the number to get into the program on Russo and Rizzo. Ryan in West Palm Beach joins the program. Now, Ryan, what's on your mind? What do you got for us?
Gentlemen, a quick question about both of your teams that you guys follow. Russo, they keep talking about the Jaguars having some kind of surprise shock pick. Is it Tyler Warren? Is that what we're going to see?
You think we're going to get Tyler Warren at the 5th overall pick?
Well, they keep saying the Jaguars are going to be the shock and surprise of the draft.
Well, I think it's because
the
they haven't
betting
told
markets are showing it's not going to be Jimmy.
Now, I agree with you. Now, one thing I'll say is I do think Cohn, I think he should go the defensive tackle for Michigan, but I think he'll go offense. And maybe if they trade down, then I would listen to Tyler Warren, who's the Penn State tight end at 10. That would make sense for me if they traded down with Chicago. I don't know if I could listen to that at 5 overall.
Well, I'm just saying like a hot take. Like they keep saying there's going to be surprise. I mean, it's got to be. Would it be Warren in your eyes if that was like the shock of the draft?
That would be the shock of the draft. If Tyler Warren went 5th overall to the Jags, if he went 10, I don't think so. I think that's pretty on par with where he's being floated, especially after Brock Bowers and Sam Laporta dominated early.
Right.
So I would imagine that at 5 is way too early. You don't draft the tight end at 5. You don't do that. That's not the right thing to do. What else you got, Ryan?
Absolutely. And then Rizzo. All right, listen, Rizzo. I mean, what's the expectations? You're going to take Hunter, and he's going to be a gadget player. I mean, I
disagree.
I think I don't get it.
So, Ryan, I disagree with the public on this. I think the Browns are going to play him at receiver first. They need a receiver. They got Judy, but they need another receiver. They're pretty good at corner with Marty Emerson Jr., with Denzel Ward, with Greg Newsome. They're really deep at corner. I think they play him majority on the offensive side, and they throw him in defensively when they can. That'd be my best guess. And Andrew Berry even said that in his press conference.
What's the upside for Hunter? Because I'm not really a Hunter fan. Is he like Josh Gordon, Mike Evans light? Or
no. Here's the thing: Josh Gordon and Mike Evans were big. You know what I mean? They were tall. They're excuse me. I mean, Evans is still in the league, partner. But
he's got a little CD Lamb in him. He's got a little CD Lamb.
I think at this point you're taking the best player available. And I think Hunter is the best player available. I think it's going to do wonders for the fan base. And I think what's even more important is his play on the field. And I think his play on the field is worth taking at the number 1 pick. I think if Cam Ward wasn't a quarterback, he wouldn't be going number 1 overall. It's just the position that Tennessee needs, and it's the most important position in the NFL. Partner, I've come around on Hunter. I really had. At first, I wanted Shedeur Sanders. I still think Shedeur Sanders is going to be a great quarterback. I really don't understand the slander there. I'd rather have the Browns take Sanders, but since they're not going to, I bought in on Hunter, and I think Hunter is going to be a good pro.
Well, I hope for your sake, because if he's not,
so Ryan, Ryan,
it's going to be a long year for you.
Explain to me why you think, first off, the Browns roster is pretty good. Injuries really derailed that team, and I think Flacco is a better quarterback than anything we had last year. But explain to me why you think that, number 1, why you're so down on the Browns, number 2, why Hunter won't work out.
I just think Hunter is a gadget player against the Big 12. He really didn't play against nobody worth a crap. The Browns haven't had a pick since 21. I think they're just doing this to make the fans happy. As a Chiefs fan, I have nothing to worry about. We just take the best player and we just move on. But the Browns have to take these people to make. Yeah.
What would you do? What would you do? And if you're Browns general manager and Andrew Berry, and by the way, everyone thinks Travis Hunter is the number 1 player. He's the number 1 overall player in this draft. Yada yada yada. With all of that now, what would you do if you were Browns GM Andrew Berry? Would you trade out? Would you take Abdul Carter? Is there someone that you think is worth taking over Hunter at that position? What would you do?
If I was the Browns, I would take Carter and pair him up with Miles.
Okay.
And then I would draft in the second round the best available running back, and I would have Joe Flacco hand the ball off 30 times a game and run play action, and that's how the Browns have to win games. Play defense, run the ball.
Yep, and I know you don't watch much of the Browns. I'm going to let you know, partner. Kevin Stefanski loves throwing the ball. Flacco's going to be throwing the ball, but I understand the point.
Good call, Ryan. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Ryan.
Appreciate you chiming in there. Brian thinks that, it wouldn't be the worst pick in the world.
So is that a word?
I don't think that's an option. I do not think that's an option.
And I was about to say,
but I mean, you can't look at that and think negatively if they do get another big-time pass.
We're at Travis Hunter's draft party, so I really don't want to ask.
Well, these are not Brown fans. These are if Travis Hunter's still available at 28, then I think we can call fire.
I do want to bring up what he brought up. Like, does he do anything well? Is he a gadget player like Ryan is saying?
No.
Okay, I agree. I totally agree.
No, he's a great corner. He's a great receiver. It's true.
Right. So
it's true.
He's
great at both.
I'm kind of there, and that's what sold me with 2. And I'll be at this point, after everything I've been through as a Brown fan in this friggin' process, I'll be very upset if they don't take Hunter.
What would be nervous for me is what happens when he gets that first nagging hamstring injury, and that will happen.
It will.
What happens when he gets that? What do you cut him off from? Do you cut him off from both? Do you bring him back when he is ready for both sides? Do you bring him back, but he's only going to play half the snaps at one position? Is he going to be a wide receiver first, and then all of a sudden, if Denzel Ward comes down, do you tell him to start suiting up for corner, but he hasn't played at all training camp?
Yeah.
So how do you play this? You can't be a nuanced process. I think you have to have an actual set-in-stone protocol of how to utilize it.
I loved when Kevin Stefanski asked Hunter, he goes, if you're playing 2 positions, it's a lot of work. He goes, I'm a fisherman. I wake up early. He's saying all the right things.
Right. No, there's no doubt about it.
He's saying all the right things.
But what you're going to say and what actually happens are 2 different things.
The injury thing is interesting. To be honest, Colin, I don't have an answer for you. I really don't. Because we've seen in the NFL when guys do get hurt,
it nags. It's about surviving to the end of the season.
And the reason I'm going dry here is because it's such a tough league. That's why when you see these edge rushers and you see how much they rotate out, people and Brown fans always go, Riz, why isn't Garrett playing all the snaps? Because he's going 150% every single play.
They hobble to the end of the year.
They really hobble
do. To the end of the year.
And injuries is half the season. Would you agree? To have a good year, injuries is half of the freaking league.
Yeah.
Really is. So you got to be healthy.
That's the one thing I'd be nervous about is what's the protocol there? If and when you get a nagging, maybe he's a true unicorn, he doesn't get hurt. But if and when you have a nagging ankle injury and you're a game time decision, let's warm up, see how it feels. What are you going to warm up and then play both sides?
Yep.
You're going to warm up, play one side? Changes a lot of dynamics of the team. We got to do a little 5-at-5 on the flip side of things. Live from the Boynton Beach Arts and Cultural Center at the Travis Hunter Draft Viewing Party. About 2 hours, 40-ish minutes to the NFL first round draft. We'll do a little 5-at-5 with Christian on the flip side of things. Stick around for it. Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Hi, this is Scott Smith with Smith Ball Baez and Prather, Florida Injury Lawyers. We are a Florida civil trial law firm that specializes in the areas of personal injury and wrongful death. Our offices are located in Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie. Our lawyers have litigated thousands of matters at the Palm Beach, Martin, St. Lucie, and Indian River County courthouses. Our lawyers, paralegals, and other numerous members of our legal team live in Palm Beach County and Treasure Coast cities and towns such as West Palm Beach, Port St. Lucie, Lake Worth, Palm Beach Gardens, Palm City, Jupiter, and others just like you and your families. We are a statewide recognized law firm, but it is your community and your families that we live and associate with on a daily basis. Our most satisfying achievement is when we know that our legal power has helped a fellow member of our Palm Beach County and Treasure Coast community secure a fair and just huge result. If you've been injured, the lawyers at Smith Ball Baez and Prather will help. Call us at 500-HELP, 500-HELP. With Smith Ball Baez and Prather, help is just a local phone call away. Offices Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie.
Mike Rizzo here with the Sports Business Minute presented by the FAU MBA in Sport Management Program. The MLB valuations are out, and it's the usual suspects. You know, you got the Yankees, you got your Dodgers, your Red Sox, your Cubbies, your Giants, but the Dodgers went from $4.8 billion to $5.8 billion in just 1 year. I guess that's what happens when you have Shohei Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, and basically an unlimited bankroll to help your team every single offseason. But I found that interesting. The Dodgers, $4.8 to $5.8 billion, but the Yankees by far still number one with that $8 billion. $8 billion! This is the Sports Business Minute presented by the FAU MBA in Sport Management Program. Accelerate your career in sports with the program committed to developing top-notch executives and managers with a focus on the job placement for students and graduates. The FAU MBA in Sport Management Program.
Experience the thrill of Formula One in Miami from May 2nd through the 4th. For the first time, one-day grandstand tickets are available, starting at just $65. Grab a 3-day grandstand ticket and catch every moment of on-track action all weekend long. Choose your vantage point from all over the track with all the breathtaking views. Visit F1MiamiGP.com to explore grandstand options at the 2025 Formula One Crypto.com Miami Grand Prix. The race, that's an experience.
Hi, Kevin Dalton here from the Unlimited Auto Wash Clubs. Time to start getting your ride ready for summer. Stop by the Unlimited Auto Wash Clubs and try out one of our best wash packages, the Ultimate Plus. It gives you everything your car needs, inside and out, including our ceramic graphene coating. Or try one of our unlimited monthly plans, starting as low as $34.95 a month, or with inside and out plus tire shine starting as low as $49.95 a month. Visit any one of our 6 convenient locations or call 561-WASH-ME-TOO.
Drop the puck. Join ESPN West Palm and Coors Light Saturday, April 26th from 12:30 to 2:30 at Barbecue Beer Company in Jensen Beach as the Florida Panthers take on their in-state rivals, the Tampa Bay Lightning. Enjoy ice-cold Coors Light and Coors Banquet for $3. Score big with giveaways, including signed Panthers memorabilia, courtesy of Palm Beach Autographs. Must be 21 or older to participate. Coors Brewing Company reminds you to drink responsibly.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
love NFL Draft Time because you can actually bet some of it on the Hard Rock Bet app. If you download it now in the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store, you can get started today because you get the NBA playoff actions in full action. You get the Clippers and Nuggets, which has been the best series of the postseason on NBA TV and Altitude TV if you're in the Denver surrounding area. Or you can watch the Knick game tonight, of course, on TNT, 7 p.m. Tip-off there. So lots of stuff to look forward to. And you got the Stanley Cup going on. You're going to be watching this stuff anyway. You can sprinkle a little action, have a little fun over on Hard Rock Bet. If you try now, get up to $100 back in bonus bets if your first bet does not hit. That first bet can be a parlay, a prop, the over, whatever you like to bet, any game you choose. Win that first bet and get the same amount you bet back as a bonus bet. It's Hard Rock Bet, offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida. The wager terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling, call 1-888-ADMIT. Christian Catter, producer of today's program, back at the City Play Studios. Christian, how are you, my friend?
Doing good, perusing X and seeing rumors. For some reason or another, the Las Vegas Raiders tweeted out simply the eyeball emoji. I don't know what that means. Does that mean they're taking Ashton Genty? Is Genty going to reach them? Are they going to trade up? I don't know what that means, but I've got my ear to the ground NFL-wise right now.
Right. Christian, let me ask you this. What is your cable, YouTube TV, what is that set up for you?
It's just Hulu Live TV, and I've got the bundle that has ESPN Plus and Disney Plus. That's what I got.
Nice, dude. Hulu TV's good. It's just like it's basically essentially.
Do you have Max?
The same.
Yes, from a friend in high school. We hook each other up.
You have Prime, of course, for Thursday Night Football.
Yeah, I had it before the NFL had it, so that was a nice little non-adjustment I had to make.
Right. Okay. And then you have the ESPN Plus.
Mm-hmm.
I think ESPN Plus is great. I think it's very underrated because I personally, the catalog is great. I think I'm a college basketball guy too. That's all college basketball is the ESPN Plus. Interesting. All right, so you do the actual Hulu Live Sports instead. All right, I gotta start figuring out what my next plan is. But Christian, let's have some fun here. Let's bounce around the sports world a little bit. Let's do a little 5 presented by Flagler Credit Union.
5 topics.
High five.
5 o'clock.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Let's get out of here.
Endless takes.
You can't handle the truth.
All gas, no brakes.
And it's shaking big time.
It's time for the 5 at 5.
Hold on to your butts.
Presented by Flagler Credit Union, proud supporter of FAU athletics. Earn up to $700 per year with boost checking from Flagler Credit Union. Number 1.
All right, Kyle, we stay with the NFL draft. Christian mentioned that he is scouring anything he could find on X to figure out what is going to happen. I'm going to start with quarterbacks here with number 1. Kyle, obviously Cam Ward going number 1. All right, fine. I'm more interested in after that. Jackson Dart. Jalen Milroe. Oh, yeah, I forgot one. Shedeur Sanders. Kyle, out of those 3, who, in your opinion, is going to have the most success in the NFL? Jackson Dart, Jalen Milroe, and Shedeur Sanders.
I'm going to put Jalen Milroe at the bottom of the list. Great athlete. Nobody's going to have the patience for him. The patience required for Jalen Milroe to be a success story is a lot more than teams are willing to give. That's my personal opinion. He's just not a refined product at the moment. I mean, 4th and Milroe can't get you drafted in the first round. That's my personal take. What I would add to that is, listen, I saw Dart in a lot of bad games.
Oh.
That LSU game was horrific.
The Florida game at the end was...
The Florida game,
Colin,
they were
single-handed
just chucking it down the field time and time again. Oh, it drove me absolutely nuts.
2 interceptions in that game. Single-handedly played him out of that game. What hurts me, he's a great kid, Colin. I don't know if you ever heard any interviews with him. He is such a good kid. He's such a kid you want to root for. I just don't know if the talent's there. That's my 2 cents.
See, I'm sure he'd be an easy plug-and-play, but he's in a gunslinger offense. He's going to have to be somewhere with a good amount of options offensively and somewhere where he can be protected. That's what I would say on number 2. I think Shedeur is actually going to be a decent pro, barring a good situation.
I think Shedeur is going to be a great pro.
Oh, it depends.
And I don't understand
it. Depends because the situation matters a whole lot. If he goes somewhere terrible, if he goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think he'd have a good career.
I really like Sanders a lot, and if he does go to the Steelers, I'll be sick to my stomach. Colin, I got it as Shedeur, Jackson, and Milroe. I know that's boring, but like my dad called, and I talked to him before, and obviously he's pretty close to the Browns situation, and he goes, yeah, Mike, I'm hearing that they like Milroe. I go, Dad, the quarterback that can't throw? We did that with Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Like, Browns draft picks have not turned out with quarterbacks that they've done that are like Jalen Milroe. So, like, I don't know. I really would like a quarterback like Shedeur, who's a pocket passer, who's just someone who's going to get the ball down the field, someone who's not going to make those turnovers. And Jackson Dart, for everything I just said, I don't think he's got good decision-making. I think he panics a little bit. Could he get better? Absolutely. Is he a kid I want to root for? Yes. But I would go Shedeur, Jackson Dart, Jalen Milroe. I just don't know if Milroe is ever going to develop into a passer like Shedeur Sanders. Let's do number 2.
Number 2.
All right, we got Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, Will Campbell, Mason Graham, Ashton Jonty. Colin, you got plenty of players within the top 8-ish picks that are probably going to make a splash within the NFL. Let's exclude Travis Hunter, because Hunter is probably going to be an unreal pro. Out of these names, Kyle, Abdul Carter, Will Campbell, Ashton Jonty, Mason Graham. Who do you think is going to be the better pro?
I like Mason Graham.
I do too, and
those guys are rare. It's quick, twitchy, interior offensive lineman. He's not Aaron Donald, but an Aaron Donald build, an Ed Oliver build.
Yes.
Like
pro style defense
was
at
a
Michigan.
Contributor on multiple winning teams. That's just somebody that they don't grow on trees, those players.
Yep.
You either have one or you don't. Jalen Carter, they don't grow on trees.
They're engines. Like Carter is an engine. Graham is an engine.
Defensive line so much better. You
Agreed.
could have edge rushing help, but I mean that could be nullified if if the interior stinks. But if you have good interior, that just makes one-on-ones on the islands on the outside.
Yeah, I'm with you with Graham. I watched Graham obviously a lot, being a Buckeye.
Oh, he's a game record.
He's unbelievable.
He's a game
record.
He's
unbelievable.
And he killed Ohio State.
He did.
Oh, he killed
2
Ohio
years
State.
straight. 3 years he was there. He absolutely killed us. I would probably go with Will Campbell after that. I got to be honest, Cal. I don't understand. Like, I guess I do with the crazy numbers of video game numbers he put up at Boise State. I can't fathom teams wanting to trade up for a running back. Maybe I'm the problem.
It's just
Colin,
so much capital to give up for one player.
Maybe I'm the problem when it comes to the running back position, because the NFL, I think, and obviously the running backs themselves are trying to change that stigmatism. Like, hey, running backs are just like wide receivers. They can change games and wreck games. I understand all that. It's just and I feel like with how deep the draft is too with running backs this year, I cannot fathom why Genty and teams are trying to trade up for him. Let's do number 3, Christian.
Number 3.
All right, so sticking with the draft, Kyle, you asked the question early on in the show. I'm going to ask it to you because we kind of went a roundabout way to it. What's going to be the surprise of the draft? What's the and obviously only exactly the first round tonight?
I think it's so. One thing I want to swing in with that is Diana Rossini of The Athletic tweeted that there are a lot of phone lines, the landlines that the teams have, are starting to blow up a little bit, and teams that are really starting to pop out in terms of expressing interest in moving up are the Houston Texans at 25 and the Denver Broncos at 20. So those are 2 teams there that are showing a lot of interest in moving up in the first round. And the Giants are another team that is looking to break back into the first round after their pick at number 3 overall.
I still think Shedeur is going in the top 10. That's mine.
Right, but the point is,
that's mine.
If the Broncos, they want an offensive piece, they need an offensive piece, I assume that's where they're going to go, and that tells you that they're not that pleased with what the 20 through 30 range looks like, and I think the Texans might be in the same boat. The Texans, no Diggs now. They got you have no idea what's going to happen. The short guy, the other receiver they have, a tore his knee in the end zone.
Nico Collins.
No, the other one that tore his knee in the end zone. Tank Dell. Can't believe, it just escaped my mind there. Tank Dell blew up his knee in the back of the end zone. They probably need another offensive piece somewhere.
Sure.
Maybe and an offensive lineman. So they're not pleased with that 20-25 range as well. So they're trying to move up.
They need someone to protect CJ.
My surprise of that first round would be Denver moving in there if they did. I wonder if Pittsburgh will ever pull a trigger and move up if they see an opportunity. And I wonder what Chicago's going to do.
Yep.
Because I think Chicago, that's a risky position if you're going to trade a lot of capital to go get Ashton Jetty. That's my personal opinion. With all these, there's a lot of good. You got both the Ohio State guys. You got Ashton Genty. You got the kid from North Carolina, Omarion Hampton. You got Dylan Sampson, the kid from Tennessee. You got the kid from Texas Tech, who's good. You got Jordan James, the kid from Oregon, who's good. You got a lot of guys who are good players, that, especially at the running back position, that are going to be decent, viable options. I don't know if Ashton Genty is worth the squeeze on that. That would be my take.
Yep. So my two. Shedeur Sanders either goes top 5 or top 10. I'm not buying him sliding in the draft. I think someone's putting smoke out there because someone wants him. I think all this slander is because someone wants him. We'll have to wait and see if that comes to fruition. And I think the Bears, I don't do Colin and Christian. I told you guys I don't do second teams. If I did a second team, it would be the Bears. I think the Bears are dumb enough to trade up for a running back and take him at number 5. That's my 2 cents on that. Christian, let's do number 4.
Number 4.
All right, Kyle, taking a step back from the NFL draft, NBA tonight, which matchup intrigues you the most? Is it an easy answer with the Clips, or are you more intrigued on that Knicks
What type
game
of Knicks team are we going to see tonight, you know? Or what are the Pistons going to play that pesky, make the Knicks try to rely on that, on the officials? Are the Knicks going to try to play some offensive basketball? Are they going to move the ball a little bit better? Or are they going to play this isolation game with Jalen Brunson dribble, wait for a foul call? If they do that again, I think they're dead in the water, especially in Detroit. Or are they going to try to steal one back in Detroit and flip the home court back in their direction? I think that would take them moving the ball, them getting Towns involved early and often, and we'll see if they do that.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go with the Knicks too, Colin. I told you I had a real problem with that offensive game plan as well. And I'll even take it a step further. If I got to see Mikal Bridges heave a 3 with the shot clock winding down again, I mean, Tibbs better have an answer tonight. If they lose tonight, they're in trouble. I'm going to say that. If they lose tonight, they are in trouble. I know I doubled down and said the Knicks in 5 because that's what I originally said. I'm not going to go against my word. I think the Knicks do win tonight, and I think Karl Anthony Towns has a monster game. As far as the Clips, I mean, Colin, I think Kawhi Leonard is going to continue to be Kawhi Leonard. I think they probably win this game at home tonight.
Number
5.
So I wanted to do a little fun here. Kyle, we had, obviously, it was our fellow teammates had their kids in for work. It was Bring Your Kids to Work Day today with Good Karma Brands and all around the country, really. Do you want kids? I guess my general question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Kyle, the reason I'm asking, you got, I'm ancient and you're Sandra. I'm 8 years older than your partner. I'm 30. It really, that hit for me today. It's like, I'm 30 years old. Is it ever going to happen?
What, are you getting baby fever right now?
It's not that I'm getting baby fever. It's to the point, I think, where is it ever going to happen? I'm 30, man.
You're questioning that?
I'm questioning it.
Don't worry about that.
30.
That's not a big deal. My dad didn't get married till he was 35. He had me when he was 44. I think he got plenty of time.
I guess, but I guess there's more of an internal clock with women, obviously, because of, I don't know, Colin, honestly, like, for them, you can't have a baby past certain ages. So, like, I understand that, but, like, I don't know. I'm kind of there. I don't know.
Don't rush it.
With seeing kids today and being with them and having fun, I really want them, man, and I don't know if it's ever going to happen at this point.
Are you going to stop at the adoption agency on the way home? I don't know. I wouldn't worry about that. I can tell you're overthinking it.
Yeah.
Don't overthink that. It's going to happen when it happens. That's my take.
That's coming from a 22-year-old.
No, but if you're looking for it, if you're looking for it, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
If you know that you want that, that's what you want. So
for sure. Christian, how about you, buddy?
Yeah, I'll have kids. I'll probably adopt one and have another. That's probably the route for me.
Okay. And then
you're not a kids guy either.
Hey, well, you can save that comment for tomorrow. No, I'm not a kids guy. I'm not.
You've been at summer camp. You said it was the worst experience of your life. As a summer camp counselor.
Almost caught like 4 cases of being mean to children.
Right. All right. So
just had to have a talk, by the way, with Christian.
About what?
About that specific situation.
About him being a bad camp counselor.
Well,
so therefore,
exactly.
Are you going to be okay with the kids in the? Are you going to blow a gasket with the kids? Wow.
Bingo.
Had my chair stolen.
What are you going to do? Are you going to yell at an 8-year-old for stealing your chair? What are you going to do?
Oh, God. But yeah, I had a lot. Boys, tremendous amount of fun today. Honest to God. I thought at first, it's like, oh, boy, here we go. How's this going to go? Absolute blast with the kids.
Yeah, that's a fun age.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was 12. It's more like 7 or 8. But
yeah, you were way off.
Yeah, that's 6, a fun
7.
Little age. I thought that I was surprised. Some social skills. You guys, I don't know. Maybe I just have no clock of when the intellect gets put together for kids. But, I mean, I was impressed. We've got to take a time out here. But first, we'll get to Sensible Steve from PA. He's joining us now on Russo and Rizzo from Pennsylvania, I assume. Sensible Steve joining the program now. What do you got?
Hey, how you guys doing today?
Good, partner.
Lovely. What do you got for us?
Hey, I just want to talk the draft a little bit. Talk about Andrew Berry and the Cleveland Browns and what we might do and what you guys what are you guys thinking with this Travis Hunter guy?
I'm high on him. I think, how can't you, right? Everyone is saying he's the number one prospect, cornerback, wide receiver. He's going to be a great pro at both positions. I originally wanted Sanders. I think Sanders is going to be a great pro. I think he's got the pedigree on it. But as this situation progressed and the whole Hunter situation progressed, I'm completely fine with taking the best player available, even though we still need a franchise quarterback.
Steve, where do you stand?
Well, I tell you what. I'm happy with any of those 4 quarterbacks that are in the draft. I'm happy with any of them. I'm worried about what we're going to do at kind of 33 and the next few picks. You know, there's a lot of talk about trading down that's going around and possibility. I mean, that's, if you're going to hear it, it's going to be today, right? This is the biggest day of the year for some of us. So, you know, we've talked about this all day up here in the Cleveland area, and it's a real thought for us. So if we could get a really good quarterback, a really good running back, a really good tight end, and a really good offensive tackle all in the first couple rounds, then I think maybe you got to think of that. You got to think about, this guy. Yes, sir.
I did. Keep going. Sorry, partner. Thought you were done.
Yeah. So when you're talking about Travis Hunter, though, you got a guy who can play both ways, and if he can be that guy, you're getting a twofer. And again, he's going to eventually ask for some more money, but guess what? By that time, we're going to be out of the hole, and we're going to be ready to rock and roll. I want to say one more thing. I believe in Andrew Berry. I think he's going to have a heck of a draft tonight, and I have high hopes for that guy.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate
the call. Yeah, Steve is high on Andrew Berry. How about that? And you know what Ian Rappaport has tweeted? We haven't even brought it up yet. Is he has tweeted as the Jacksonville Jaguars is like the team to watch because they might be not. I think they should trade down. They might be aggressive in trading up. Would you be surprised if they went up to 2 to take? The only reason they're doing that is to take Hunter.
They'd have to give up a king's ransom. The only way Cleveland is trading out of that pick is for a future first-round pick,
and today and the 5th overall, and then probably a second rounder.
Correct. And Cleveland,
I wouldn't do that, but yeah.
The Browns might because they need picks. Kyle, they haven't had a first-round pick in how many years? 3-4 years
right,
now?
So, yeah.
That's the only way. And I think they – remember when Peter Schrager reported that the Browns and the Giants were fielding their picks? I think it was to get a sense on what they could get. I think the Browns would do their best to try to get 2 first-round picks. I don't think that's going to happen, though, Colin. And ultimately, since they can't get 2 firsts, I think they take the pick.
I mean, if Jacksonville – I don't know enough about it, but if I'm Jacksonville and I offer them the 5th overall, next year's first, and a second round pick –
Would you be all right with that to trade for Hunter? I think it'd be a
terrible
terrible
How often does that
trade.
work? How
Never.
often does that work?
Never.
How often does that work?
Never.
Steve Politzino, the Good Karma Brands president, joined us earlier in the week, and he said it's a quantity over quality thing for him. You have more chances to strike gold the more picks you have.
Yeah.
There is no guarantee that anything is going to work if you move up.
And that's
if he falls to them, fan-freaking-tastic.
Right.
But if you're going to trade the house and then some to go get him, I don't know if that's worth it because the team is not that close.
I say the Browns want 2 first-round picks. Maybe they see it with how the Bears did it a couple years ago when the Panthers were miserable and they ended up with the number 1 pick. If the Browns win, which I think north of 8 games, hopefully, fingers crossed they win 8 or more. I think that's probably what the over-under will be set at. Kyle, if they win 8 or more after trading down and they have Jacksonville's pick who struggles, they'll have 2 first-round picks and probably one in the top 5.
That's exactly what the Bears did.
And that Bear pick turned out to be the number 1 pick.
So. And they had 1 in 10. That's exactly what the Bears did.
Kyle,
that's why, because of that, it's fresh in my mind. Let's stay away.
So Rappaport
Ian Rappaport
wow,
said that on NFL Network. He said the Jacksonville Jaguars will be bold and they're a team to watch tonight. Again, I don't buy anything of what these guys are saying because nobody knows what's going on in Jacksonville. And I like it. It's like the Brian Windhorst moment, what's going on in Utah before they sold house. It's exactly that. What's going on in Jacksonville? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Brand new GM who's like 38 years, who's like 35 years old.
And I think people are just creating stuff at this point.
If they trade up for him, if he falls to them, fantastic. If you want to move up a pick, whatever. But you can't move up 3 picks.
Okay.
There's too much capital you got to give up. We got to take a time out here. We're live at the Boynton Beach Arts and Cultural Center for Travis Hunter's draft party. The draft about a little over 2 hours away. Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Christian Cat. We take a time out here on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
What's the Anajar and Levine difference? When you're injured in a car crash, we focus on your case so you can focus on the one thing that matters most, getting better. I'm Glenn Levine with Anajar Levine. We'll fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call our legal team right now for a free consultation. 1-800-747-FREE. We'll help you take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In office, West Palm Beach.
The new Spring Blizzard menu is here at DQ Grill & Chill. Cue the confetti! The Blizzard of the month is the Confetti Cake Blizzard, a delightful blend of confetti cake pieces and confetti frosting, mixed perfectly with DQ's world-famous soft serve. The Confetti Cake Blizzard, just part of the new Spring Blizzard menu, which also features s'mores, cotton candy, and 2 brand new blizzards, dipped strawberry cheesecake, and mixing bowl mashup. DQ Grill & Chill with 2 locations, 4828 Lake Worth Road and US 1 just south of North Lake.
This Work Zone Awareness Week, take a moment to think about the people behind the cones. Road workers risk their lives to keep Florida highways safe. Speeding, distractions, and ignoring signs can be deadly. Slow down, stay alert, and follow the rules. It's the best way to protect workers and yourself. Together, we can make a difference. From the Florida Department of Transportation, respect the zone so we all get home.
ESPN West Palm is highlighting the best performance of the week, presented by Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Every week, a different team will be featured across ESPN 106.3 and ESPN West Palm Play. The winning performance receives $500, courtesy of Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Do you know a team, player, or school with a killer performance? Nominate them by emailing highschool@espnwestpalm.com. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Go where the pros go.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Did you know that 90% of HVAC and air conditioning systems that break down that are less than 10 years old could have been prevented had the unit been regularly and properly maintained by a professional? You can do that with John C. Cassidy Air Conditioning and Plumbing. They've been keeping homes cool and comfortable, proudly serving Palm Beach County since 1960. You can visit CassidyAC.com and get one of their highly trained technicians to troubleshoot, perform diagnostic checks, make sure that your HVAC and air conditioning unit is completely up to speed, and they can do that regardless of the brand, regardless of the age, and regardless of where you got it from. They can check it out. It's time to check if you need your system checked or upgraded. It's going to get hotter here. It's starting to get hot right now. I could feel it just walking in today. In the mid-80s, you're starting to feel the sun a little bit more this time of year in South Florida. Make sure that you are cool and comfortable with John C. Cassidy Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat with us, and Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3 from the Boynton Beach Arts and Cultural Center with the Travis Hunter draft viewing party. We got a bunch of kids of Pop Warner teams, some members of the law enforcement community. Everybody's having a good time here as everybody's sort of gearing up to see. The good news is, with this type of draft party, we talked about it yesterday, this is going to be a quick one.
It is.
This is going to be a quick one.
Yeah, it's going to
be a quick one.
It's not. We're not going to be inviting people back the next day. Let's just put it that way.
It's going to be a quick one. So I'm pleased with that. And you get the tables up in front of us. You got everybody here having a good time. I think that this is going to be the perfect type of draft party because you're not waiting 10, 15, which can take an hour.
Totally.
10 picks can take an hour.
It can.
You're waiting 10 picks to make sure that you do that. Now, let's look ahead at the games tonight. We did enough for the draft. I'm curious. Knicks Pistons tonight. You think the Knicks get this done?
I do. I remember I doubled down
You're still on that hill of winning in 5 or 6.
Knicks 5 or 6.
You think they're going to win the next? You think they're going to win the next?
I think they win the next 3. I think they had their game. Say what we want about Tibbs. I think he's going to make adjustments. This isn't Boston. This isn't Cleveland. I still think that they're the best. And I know they struggle with them in the regular season. But I think that Tibbs is going to make those adjustments. I think Cat is going to have a huge game. And I do think Brunson's going to be more efficient.
I think
Brunson's going to be a lot more efficient in that every 5 seconds.
I think you're going to learn a lot about the Knicks tonight. I really do. I think you're going to learn a lot about their backs are not against the wall.
No.
But how do they change things up? Because if they played the way they played the other night, where they had 60-something points at the end of the third quarter, and the fouls, and I know that Detroit got more free throws, and there was a discrepancy there in the whole thing, and Thibodeau went post-game saying that Cade Cunningham and Jalen Brunson do not get the same whistle.
Which is ridiculous.
But the way I view it is the Knicks are going to need to change how they go at the game in some capacity. If they could do that, and if they can utilize more ball movement, you can't run the same offense that the Knicks ran last year with a completely different team. Right. And that's exactly what they do. They have the Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo offense running, but now they got Mikal Bridges and Karl-Anthony Towns, who are better perimeter shooters.
Yep.
Or at least more consistent on that sense. You're going to learn a lot about what their game plan is going to be. They're going to need to score, and they're going to need to score in bunches.
I mean, Cat can't go 0-4 and a goose egg.
And then you can't forget about him the rest of the game. You can't do that.
Colin, 19 minutes, the final 19 minutes, he did not register a point in that game. That can't happen. That can't happen. And I know everyone thinks Brunson's the best player on that team. He's probably the leader of that team, but I think the most talented player on that team, and the guy that's going to put you over the edge is Karl-Anthony Towns.
I'd be very nervous if I was a Knick fan tonight. If they fall down 2-1 with another game in Detroit, that game 4 turns into a must-win situation. I know you could do 3-1 going back to, but still, I would be very, very nervous.
This is a lot. I think this game is reminiscent of the Lakers. Remember the Lakers were down 0-1. Everyone goes, "Oh, it's a must-win." I damn near think tonight's a must-win for the Knicks.
They need to flip home court.
They need to get momentum.
There's something about that.
They need to get momentum back.
And the thing is, they haven't put together a full game in either of the games, and the Pistons played pretty well throughout both. They had a collapse at the end of game 1, but other than that, I think the Pistons have actually shown you a little bit of guts. They got the monkey off their back. They got that first win in the 15, 16 games in the playoffs. They had a 15-game losing streak in the postseason going into that. I think the fact that they've gotten that off their back, they're going to play a little free. They got nothing to lose. Because what the Pistons, if they win or lose this series, nothing's going to change. They're going to continue to try to improve what they already have and make a couple retool pieces here and there. They're going to keep their coach. The Knicks is not that. If this doesn't work out for the Knicks with the lack of bench, they're going to need bench pieces. They're going to need to figure out if they're going to stick with this head coach with all the options out there. They're going to need to determine sort of a little bit of an identity crisis if they can't get out of the first round.
Right, and I think even if they do keep Thibodeau around, they're going to have a conversation of we need to be a deeper team.
And
we need to be a deeper team and not have people play 40
minutes. Maybe I'm wrong
on
this. Maybe Rose and the Knicks brass love Thibodeau to death. Maybe the players love him so much that he's never going anywhere. But I'd be blown away if they lose in that first round after the season they had, after last seasons they had, after the offseason moves they made. They, on paper, got better, but they have no bench. They don't have any other alternative options outside of that starting 5. But if they can't get out and beat a Detroit team that is sort of their first go-round at this,
they're not battle-tested.
That would be a really rough look. That would be a really rough look. Now, the Clippers-Nuggets tonight. You think the Clippers are going to win the next 2 in their home building?
No, I think the Nuggets steal one. I don't think it's tonight, though. I think the momentum is with the Clippers right now. I think the Joker's going to have his back against the wall coming up in Game 4, so to say. You don't want to go down 3-1, and I think they win that game on their way back to Denver, and we're truly going to have a treat in Game 5 once the home court gets back to Denver.
You're rooting for a 2-2 series. A 2-2 series. That's going to be our game. That's going to be our 7-game series.
But Colin, I do believe that the Nuggets will win a game in L.A. I do. I think they will win one game
Nuggets
in LA.
the Clippers are good in that building, so keep that in mind. But you're right. Yeah, you're right. But the Nuggets, the one thing I give the Clippers credit for is they played great in both games, and that's not an easy place to play.
No.
That is not. The Denver is a tough home court.
And the altitude and everything.
It hurt Minnesota. That's a tricky place to play.
Yep.
By the way, the L.A. Clippers were 30-11 at home, and they were 20-21 on the road. So this is a new building that they play in, which is great. The Ballmer Arena or whatever they call it.
Yeah,
they do a great job. They get the fans, the cheap ticket.
Ballmer Arena?
No, it's not the Ballmer Arena, but it's something like that. It's something like that. All right, last thing here.
Yeah.
OKC versus the Grizzlies. Are we going to see another 35-point loss here?
Hang on, Christian in our Let's Go Streaking,
they covered, right? 14, 13 and a half?
They did not cover.
I was watching that game intently at the end. I had it on the second screen.
They did not.
I was trying to watch Loss at the same time, and I diverted all my attention.
19. Okay, yeah. Wow.
That team's done. That team's
they stink. They stink.
They're so
it was
bad.
18-6, 6 minutes into the first quarter, and I thought Christian made the worst bet of all time.
Put him in a pan. Hibachi. They're cooked.
Yeah. Bad shape there. I agree with that. Now, are the Browns going to stay at this pick?
If they don't, I'm going to be very angry.
You're going to be very angry?
Unless they swindle somebody for 2
But you said they need
first-round
picks. Yeah.
They need picks. But Hunter, Colin, I'm tired of
Is Hunter worth that? Or are you just going to let's just take a swing, let's do it?
Everyone's saying he's a generational talent. Friggin' take him then. I wanted Shedeur Sanders. Apparently he stinks. What do I know? I think Sanders is going to be a good pro. In my ideal world, in my Browns delusion, You get Hunter and you trade back up
Weirdly
for
enough,
Sanders.
I hope you get him too. I don't want the Jacksonville to trade up.
Okay,
I do not want
fair
that.
enough.
I do not want that.
Fair enough.
Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Christian Cat, Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3. Big thanks to Boynton Beach Arts and Cultural Center in Boynton Beach, Florida for the Travis Hunter draft viewing party. Missed any of the program today? Listen back on Russo and Rizzo on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. All those great places. Enjoy the NFL draft tonight. Enjoy some NBA playoffs tonight. Enjoy some NHL playoffs tonight. You got Ottawa and Toronto, game 3 tonight as well. I'm looking forward to that. Panthers game 2. Lots to look forward to. Lots to have fun. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay focused. It's been Colin Russo saying so long on ESPN 106.3.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there.